Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great to be with you. Hope you're well on this Ballsmic Wednesday. You know, this is the last. Is it the last? Yeah, it has to be. Last Thursday coming up tomorrow. That's the No Redemption Thursday. That's it. We could do a Redemption Thursday tomorrow, but it's not really redemptive because there are no previous games.
Unless you've got an angle on the preseason.
I mean, I got an angle on, college football that'll be played this Saturday, Tom. We could make some picks. But I wouldn't like to have to lay out my picks for this Saturday's contest as the first Redemption Thursday. Besides, today's Ballsmic Wednesday. My days, they're all stringing together. It's so close to the start of the season, and there's so much to get done. I think we all feel this way. A bit of panic sets in, but it's the good kind of panic. Like, man, there's all this goodness coming. I got to get stuff in order before I experience all the goodness. And it can be difficult. You're kind of thinking to yourself, well, Steve's coming, and he's going to be here on Thursday. And then, we've got the big party on Friday, and then a huge party. Going to go to Cameron's thing on Sunday, which is Libations Friday Fest on a Sunday. Going to be better than ever. They got fanretreat.com sponsoring them. I can get a beer if I just go to fanretreat.com and sign up for the event, which I can do very easily. And then I think about the game itself. I mean, the game's important. I got to make sure I keep it together. Going to open the lots at 7 a.m., and this is a game. Are they opening at 7 a.m.? Did I make that up?
I think it's noon.
I made it up. So there you go. You got a big kickoff against Virginia Tech, and it's Willie's debut, and there's just a lot of damn things going on right now in the next 10 days or so. And in my case, as I do all of this, because it's about me, somebody hit my car. And I got to get the damn thing fixed, and I'm getting it fixed now. And it's the most unfortunate thing that ever happened to anybody. It truly is. Not famine, no, nothing like that. It's my car being backed into while I was getting gas because it affects me. But I haven't told the story on the air yet. When that happened, you expect your car gets hit to go one of two ways. There's going to be an argument. There's going to be a finger-pointing exchange. There's going to be, you hit me. No, you pulled out in front of me. No, I was getting gas. Dude hit me while I was getting gas. That's the damnedest thing ever. I'm just getting gas and pa! Just like that. Whole car shook. I was like, what the hell? I said more than what the hell.
Well, of course you did. And at least your foot wasn't next to the tire or something like that.
No, that could have been very, 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 very dangerous. But I walked around, and true story, and I'll get to the Jimbo stuff in a second. I walked around, and I thought, okay, well, let me look at the damage. It's funny when your car gets hit, you hope against hope. But, cars are made so flimsily these days. And even the nice ones, they are. They're not like they used to be, right? There's a lot of fiberglass involved now, Tom.
Indeed.
And so, you think to yourself, well, I hope there's no damage, which is ridiculous. Of course there's damage. Another car just hit your car.
Sure.
It's going to be damaged.
Oh, a little more than 2 years ago, I had a problem where
yes,
I was sliding down a hill. The brakes locked up, and I hit the back of a steel reinforced bumper.
Well, that sucks for you.
My car had no chance.
No chance.
Oh,
you knew it was screwed. So I walk around, and I see the front right side's bashed in, and I'm thinking about, well, that sucks. That's a pain. That's going to be time-consuming. That's time I don't have to deal with here. I don't want to deal with this stuff. I got a busy job. I'm married with 2 kids. I don't need this. Let this happen to somebody else, not me. That's the kind of ass I am. But the guy turns out to be the nicest dude ever. I won't say his name, but he felt terrible, and he let me know that instantly. There was no question I was going to have no problem. He was country, and he said, man, I'm so sorry. I didn't even see you. Oh, that's my fault. Oh, damn it, man. Just like that. And I went, all right, well, there's an admission of guilt. That's good. Got that out of the way. Nobody's complaining about anything here. He knows he screwed up. He proceeded to walk to his car. He got his insurance information. He laid out his driver's license on the hood of the car. He goes, take a picture of that. Take a picture of my insurance stuff and my driver's license, and then let me call my insurance company right now. And I said, okay, all right. And then he did. He goes, ma'am, yes. And then I'll make up his name. This is Tim. And then she said, okay. And then he said, yeah, no, I just hit this guy, and it's completely my fault. We're going to have to fix it. like, wow, this never happens. This is amazing. Yeah, I just backed right into him, never saw him, completely my fault. Yep, his name's Jeff, nice fella. I didn't even see him. And then from there, went and exchanged the information. Within that day, I got a call, and they were like, listen, we got you. Tim's admitted to the whole thing. He's admitted you did nothing wrong. It's all our fault. We'll pay for it, get you situated. And now my car's being fixed, and I got a rental and all that good stuff.
I didn't realize that the guy who got the championship koozie at the diner in Alabama had
made
his way to Tallahassee.
Made his way down to Tallahassee.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I forgot about the guys in the diner. Turned out they were right.
Oh, yes.
Saban's sweep was more effective than others. And championship koozies have been bountiful.
They've got many now.
Yeah.
It's like they got one for each day of the week almost.
It's crazy how that works, right? And everybody's been chasing it ever since. You were right about that show, by the way. It's good. It is good.
Oh, the Alabama All Access?
Yeah, it's worth your time. It's worth watching. We can only hope it backfires on Alabama. It's not going to backfire on Alabama. They got a ton of good players always. So I just, it was a mistake. Jimbo let the clutter in. He had the arrogance to let the clutter in, and it cost him dearly. He was made to look like a buffoon, begging for answers from players as to why they weren't connecting and all of that. That was a clown show what took place here.
Show them your heart, Coach.
But I guarantee you that won't happen in Alabama. In fact, every time I watch it, I'm like, well, I see why they play hard for that guy. It looks like they know what they're doing there.
How do I reach these kids? Guys, we've got a problem. There's a disconnect.
You think? So he's got a problem now. That kind of leads the way here with the news. Let me say this. In reading the report, and for those of you that haven't been paying attention because you're frantically trying to get things done just before the start of football, I got you. I understand how that works. And so maybe it's on the periphery for you. Perhaps just now you're going, is there a problem with Jimbo at A&M? What's going on? People are talking. It's just whizzing over my head. I have not had the chance to sit down and read Dan Walken's article from the USA Today. I don't like the USA Today, and I don't like Dan Walken. So what's going on here? Perhaps you've said that. Perhaps I've said that. But I have to read the USA Today and Dan Walken because I'm here to inform the person that's frantically trying to get their stuff done before the start of football. And here's the deal, in essence. Santino Marchiol, or whatever the hell his name is.
We call him Sonny.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wanted to transfer. He wanted to follow Kevin Sumlin to Arizona after he hurt his ankle there at Texas A&M. He's a linebacker. He had redshirted, then he got hurt and was sitting out. And so at first he thought, well, we'll give Jimbo Fisher's crew a fair shake. I'll stay here. We'll see how it is when they get here. If things change for the better, then I'll stick around. And he soon found out, according to him, this sucks. This is garbage. I want nothing like this. Because here's the deal. It was a country club atmosphere under Kevin Sumlin, if you will, and this is anything but. All right, when you first peruse this, and never mind some of the salacious nature of all this, and there are NCAA violations and stuff like that in this, and I'll get to those in a moment. But when you first read that, I think a large percentage of Florida State fans and supporters and alumni and the like want to find a reason to point the finger at Jimbo Fisher even more than we already have, because he did leave in a way that was absolutely absurd. And it really did, in many ways, undo a lot of the great things that he brought to this program. And it left a lot of us with a bad taste in our mouth. And therefore, any misstep or any moment that he looks like an idiot dancing with a dog or anything else, that we're going to jump on it, right? I got you. And there are many people. I run into them all over this city. I see them all over the place. I love it. They're fellow Noles, and they go, hey, Cameron, when are you going to spit the dirt on Jimbo? I know you know everything about that guy, good, bad, and the ugly. When are you going to really go after him? And I've said my piece on this. The way he exited was a damn shame. It didn't need to happen that way. He became a bitter man. He became a broken man in many ways. The relationship between him and the boosters and the athletic department was not going to be put back together. And at the end of the day, the way I thought about it was, you know what? We got out from under a terrible contract that was going to act as an albatross moving forward for many years that would prohibit us from winning. The train had come off the tracks here. He wasn't going to get it back on the tracks. He was not. The 3-loss, 6-loss, this was a disturbing pattern. We weren't moving in the right direction. So at the end of the day, am I bitter as a Nole? Do I feel a little frustrated about the way that he orchestrated his end here and moved on to Texas A&M? Perhaps there's some things that I thought were a little dirty pool. There were things he said when he arrived, by the way, at College Station that I thought deserved our attention and he needed to be called to the carpet on. But by and large, I've moved on in the way I think we all should, right? That, hey, we won a national championship. We won 29 straight games. He ushered us into a new era where we were back on the national radar.
Yeah, I think this is one of those where we were talking about it as it was happening on the ground, and when it was over, I was more of, good, the headache's gone. That was a headache, and it's gone. I wasn't focused on the anger of it. I was focused on the purging. Like, okay, it's done. But then as time goes on, you go, well, he stopped recruiting.
He stopped recruiting, which is a dereliction
eternally.
of duty, by the way.
Yes.
I mean, you are at that point unethical. You're taking money. If you're going to be a company guy and, spend the company money, you kind of got to do your job. So, hey, man, this is expressly written here that you got to do this, and you didn't do it. And we all suspect there's some nonsense going on behind the scenes, like maybe as early as the Alabama game. Okay, so I feel a little embittered by that, all right? So anyhow, but it all worked out. We got Willie Taggart, who has around every turn hit the right buttons. Oh, without question. You got people who were on the edge. I'm not so sure about this guy. I don't like his career record. I understand he grew up a Florida State fan, but I don't know that he's prepared to coach at a place like Florida State University. I understand he had a year at Oregon, but USF and Western Kentucky, what the hell are we doing? We can get a bigger name. All that. They've come over now. Nope. Guy seems all right. He's all in. I like it. I like these new coaches. I like the way the players are responding. I like the way that he's handled recruiting. I like all this. And so we're in a good place at the start of the season. And then this story happens. And everybody goes, ooh, look at Jimbo. Screwing it up already. All right, well, yes and no. Unsavory details in this story, which we will touch on. But not unsavory details that we don't think happen freaking everywhere. Okay, pretty much everywhere. Now, it's sloppy. It's stupid. It's rather overt. It's not the way I would cheat when I would cheat, but because we're trying to win some games around here. But do I think it happens on a fairly regular basis in terms of hosting recruits and maybe they have a little bit more money in their pocket than they should have, or perhaps I empower people that are already on the team to enable them to have a good time with those recruits that are visiting, those kinds of things to help influence their decision and their commitment? Yes. Do I think that coaches at practice sometimes say things to players that cross a line, especially if you just look at the written word, if you hear that so-and-so said this to a player? Well, to read that or even hear it from afar and not understand that, man, coaches use a lot of methods to motivate players, and sometimes they're not always nice. I've been around coaches that said, by societal standards, egregious things. To me, the difference has always been this. Does it come from a place of love? Does it come from a place where you know that coach wants to get the most out of you, the best out of you, and cares deeply about you and your future? If you believe that to be true, you'll put up with almost anything because you know it's not coming from a hateful place and that it's not personal.
Well, your dad and mine have served in the military in the past.
I mean, imagine how that is. Well, but that is different, but yes.
Drill instructors.
Right.
They both have hilarious stories about their drill instructors.
Oh, awesome stories, yes.
And you said that your dad ran into some trouble because he would laugh.
He couldn't stop laughing.
At the ridiculous things the guy would say.
Oh, the absurdity of what he was saying.
And my dad, every time he talks about his DI, who he ended up later meeting in Vietnam, he said, he just started laughing. He goes, man, that guy. I mean, I love that guy. If you just understood the game and you played the game,
you got to play the game.
Then
right.
It becomes really fun because this guy,
it's
like
over the top, ridiculous.
The
right.
adjectives you'd hear, it makes no sense.
But here's the thing, and this is something that is troublesome in that, listen, you can yell at players and you can use curse words while you yell at players, and you can question their commitment and their toughness and everything else if you want to. But again, in order for them to follow you and to fight for you and to put up with that on a daily basis, they've got to believe it comes from a good place. And this is an area where I do have a strong opinion that Jimbo was beginning to lose his way when he was here. I don't think that was always coming from a good place. And
it got personal.
It occasionally got personal, and that can't happen. So Santino here, he says, forget this. I am the hell out of this place. It's toxic. Well, you know, in the wake of what's happened at Maryland and other places, obviously the antenna is up, as it should be. And there are certain lines that were crossed there that don't necessarily apply here in any way. But it's all on our radar. We understand what's going on here. Nothing's going to, I don't think, really become of this with Jimbo Fisher, save for some of the stuff where, again, money exchanging hands, NCAA rules being violated. You've now drawn the ire and attention and focus and spotlight of the NCAA, and that is a rather ominous way to begin your career at Texas A&M. However, Tom, I would agree that if I were a Texas A&M diehard who believes that we've been soft, and that's why we give up a gazillion points a year, and why we always remain under the tent of suspicion as issued by the Jeff Cameron Show annually.
Hate that thing.
That, damn it, things got to change around here. We need a more militaristic style of coaching.
Yeah.
And I would look at this and say, well, look, guys, you got to be a little bit more discreet in your efforts to change things around here, and obviously in recruiting. But I like that we're getting these guys to understand that there's a new sheriff in town. He's changing the culture. He's shifting the way they do things at Texas A&M, and sometimes you do that by dropping the hammer. Okay, so that's how I read this report. I say, well, you know, I'm not real surprised that there are some guys who didn't like it, who want to leave, and that's their prerogative.
I look at a situation like Ohio State, and I see that Urban Meyer knows full well that there's an issue going on with one of his coaches, and it involves abuse, and he lets that move on.
That's
and
much
continue.
More egregious
My stomach turns
decision.
at that situation.
That's a guy that should lose his job.
I read this story and I see that, okay, so you get $40 a day to host a recruit if you're on campus as a student athlete and some new recruit is coming in town. You know, if you're going to double,
these guys got 90.
Right? If you're going to double or triple that, okay, whatever. I mean, that's not smart that a coach can be put and placed in a bathroom at a local bar, you know, giving this kid money rather than. Couldn't there be a middleman? Like, what happened to the art of the middleman here? You're actually going to have somebody. What did he wear a Texas A&M polo when he walked in and gave the kid the cash? Like, that's just ridiculous and sloppy. But $100 handshakes, even if it's for a recruit through a player, doesn't move the needle. Voluntary workouts not being voluntary, which is another thing that's listed in this report, doesn't move the needle.
That hasn't been the case in a long time. And I get that. Again, though, I would reiterate something that I've talked about before, that long ago the ship sailed with this whole it's a voluntary workout thing. Players know they are expected to be there, to participate, to go to war. Now, that said, look, man, if you're going to make guys be there with a wink, wink, nod, nod, you're there or you don't play sort of mandate, all right, well then don't be over the top and egregious with your actions once it starts. It's mandated that it can only be a 2-hour practice. Don't be out there 4.5 hours. That's ridiculous.
Well, and to have Elko, the defensive coordinator of the team there, and rerouting players and telling them what they should be doing in coverages and, you know, lambasting them for not doing it the right way, that's also sloppy. So for me, this goes on everywhere. I'm not worried about this if I'm an A&M fan. And also, moreover, this kid, where's he transferring? Anywhere in the country he wants to transfer.
He's going to Arizona to follow someone, yeah.
That's the head coach. So I'm looking at this saying, okay, well, this kid's too soft for my program. And again, this is the perspective of an A&M fan. This kid's too soft for the program. Jimbo's turning it around, doing it a much tougher way. And if it was a country club culture, it's certainly not going to be that now. This is music to my ears. The problem I have is you are so sloppy that you've got staff members put in positions that are compromised
The problem I have is you get started on the wrong foot because now the NCAA has a keen eye on what we're doing, and any of the fringe activities we wanted to engage in to ensure our success and our immediate success at that could potentially, obviously, be affected.
Right. So here's what you're going to cost me. The NCAA could come down and restrict our practice hours, maybe. That's something that it would seem to be a righteous punishment. Scholarships or something in the ability of going on the road and recruiting or hosting recruits. So now you made it harder for yourself, which I don't like. I'm glad that you're trying to flip the culture, and I understand why, because we were coming from the exact opposite of what you are. Now, all that said, and you just look at it from the perspective of me in reality in Tallahassee, this is awesome. This is hilarious. Sucks for you, man. I know everybody does it, but you're getting pinned with this right now? Must be a headache. Knowing how he feels about the media and the national media.
Oh, yeah.
This must be an awesome day in those offices.
Sitting back right now, knowing him to be the way that he is and the disdain that he does hold
especially for the national
media and others. Some of which is justified, some of which is certainly not.
Well, Wolken, yeah.
Some of it is completely paranoid. But having said all of that, Schadenfreude exists. You're right. Sitting around chuckling at this from afar is great. Like, well, welcome to town. I mean, the money has never been the thing. It's what the money represents. And $75 million is them telling him, you will win, and you will win now. And there's no more screwing around with fourth place in the SEC West. We're tired of being a laughingstock. We're tired of the fact that we have these expectations, yet the results do not equal said expectations. And so people make fun of us. We're looked upon as a cult, and they're going to have to eat their words someday when we win a national championship. And, Coach, to show you how serious we are, here's a plaque that says national champions, and you fill in that date, which better be sometime real soon because we're giving you $75 million that suggests as much. Okay, well, the buffoonery continues.
Maybe they have their own news organization up in Aggie Land. Nothing happens. They're not reporting on this all day long. No, and Jimbo's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't comment on what didn't happen.
It's poppycock.
Hogwash. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
But every new Altima, Rogue, Maxima, and Murano on the lot, $5,000 off. And we have over 110 to choose from. And as always, all new Craft Nissans come with our exclusive lifetime warranty. And introducing our new and exclusive Craft Concierge Service. Need service, warranty work, or recall? Craft Nissan will pick up and deliver your car at your home or office. Need a loaner car? We'll bring it to you. It's Craft Nissan's new no-charge concierge service. Craft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Prices include dealer preparation charge. Must finance through NMAC with approved credit.
The Jeff Cameron Show. Weekdays 3 to 6 on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool. You can put him to the test.
Summer temps in Tallahassee can mean extra stress on your AC unit. Let Barano Heating and Air Conditioning help with their Total Comfort Service program. Visit BaranoAC.com for info. You'll also find money-saving rebates, energy-saving tips, online scheduling, and more. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Call 580-4029. License for CAC 057652.
Next summer, the Tallahassee Tomahawks, a 12U youth baseball team, is taking a once-in-a-lifetime trip to the birthplace of baseball, Cooperstown, New York. As you can imagine, a trip like that is a huge financial undertaking for the families. So if you're a business owner and would like to help by sponsoring some of the top 12U players in the Big Bend, please reach out to them for more information and sponsorship details at tomahawks19@gmail.com. That's tomahawks19@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Chris York with Monogram Art. While our name mentions monograms, we are a lot more than that. We offer a full line of corporate apparel to businesses and organizations, and we carry clothing brands such as Cutter & Buck, Nike Golf, Port Authority, and caps from Richardson, Outdoor Cap, Ahead, Yupong, and many more. We have the ability to create custom embroidered apparel that your employees will be proud to wear. So swing by our showroom at 2522 Capitol Circle Northeast or find us online at monogramart.com. Let us help you wear your brand.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
You smell that?
I smell football.
No, dude, that's mellow mushroom.
Football season is in the air, and Mellow Mushroom is cooking up all their favorites to help you do tailgating right. Don't drag out that grill and cooler. Just load up your tailgate crew and leave the preparations to them. With daily food and drink specials, plus loads of TVs and cool AC, the closest place to the stadium is also the best spot in town. Come before the game to fill up on homemade pizza, subs, and calzones, or come after to celebrate another Seminole victory with a full bar, huge selection of domestic, import, and craft beers, and a restaurant full of passionate Seminole fans.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hello. Look at this. We got some giveaway stuff for you. Wild Adventures. You guys love to see the cars go round and around. Coca-Cola Racing Weekend. Is that right? That's what I'm looking at here. What am I giving away? 4 tickets to Wild Adventures, the theme park there. All right. Family 4-pack, Tom.
Family 4-pack special, sir.
That's right. Family 4-pack. You got to be able to come get this sucker now, like in the next couple of days. Get caught up in the fast lane August 25th and 26th with Coca-Cola Racing Weekend at Wild Adventures Theme Park. Meet NASCAR legends Bobby Allison and Matt Kenseth. Get behind the wheel of a racing simulator with Coca-Cola's ultimate racing experience. Have your picture taken with the Mellow Yellow show car. Coca-Cola Racing Weekend is included with your park admission or season pass. For more information and to get your tickets, visit wildadventures.com or call us right now. It's caller number 3, 523-3776, 523-ESPN. And there you go, 4 tickets. All right. Caller 3 wins these. Go ahead. I don't know what else to say about it. Did I get that right? That's what it is?
That sounds right.
With this ticket voucher, you can enjoy an entire day of fun. That part's true. So there you go. That's caller 3. Let's go. Get on it. You paying attention to baseball lately?
Somewhat. The Mets have had actually a nice couple
run.
of weeks.
Hey, they got a good young player who's been hitting the cover off the ball.
McNeil.
Yeah. Who's that joke?
He's an infielder. He's 26, 27 years
Every time I
old.
look up, sloop-a-doo-doo, he's hitting it everywhere.
Yeah, Jeff McNeil. So he's getting his tryout, I guess, through the end of the season to see if he's major league quality or if this is just some happy accident.
All right, really quick, let me give you the roundup on baseball. In the AL East, the Boston Red Sox, as you all well know, lead the American League East by, say, 8 games. That'll work. Best record in baseball. 15 of their last 35 games are against teams below 500. They're going to hold on to that lead.
I think so.
And that includes against games against the Marlins, the White Sox, sorry ass, and the Orioles. So you're not catching them, Yankees. That's what you got right there. But the Yankees could obviously make the playoffs. In the AL Central, it's the least competitive division in the American League. If you don't know, the Cleveland Indians hold a 13-game lead. The rest of the division features all remaining teams below 500. Done talking about them. AL West, the most competitive division in the American League. Going down to the wire. As it stands today, the Houston Astros and Oakland A's tied atop the division. Some guys driving down the road, hasn't watched a baseball game, goes, "Thank you, Cameron. I am learning about the American League. I had no idea there's a tie in the American League West." It's true. The Astros starting to get healthy, but the A's have made this fun.
The A's have gone nuts.
Crazy. They do, however, Oakland, have the toughest remaining schedule. They face division foes Seattle and the Angels for their last 6 regular season games, so that could come down to the wire there.
Okay.
Yankees hold a 3.5-game lead in the wild card standings. We'll see what happens with the Astros getting Correa back and Altuve soon as well, and the Athletics with the best bullpen in the AL currently, so kind of interesting. National League East. People know this one. The Nationals traded away both Daniel Murphy and Matt Adams. They seem to be fading away. The red-hot Atlanta Braves hold a 2-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. Both teams have a pretty interesting finish to the season. They face each other 7 of the last 10 games. Phillies and Braves.
Yes, well, those last 2 weekends are trading locations between Philadelphia and Atlanta. Yes.
The difference is the Braves face the Mets in between those games, while the Phillies have 4 games against Colorado in Colorado.
That's interesting, though, because if the Braves are playing the Mets and it's DeGrom Wheeler,
you don't
that
know.
could be a little rough.
It could be a problem.
Yeah.
NL Central, the division features 3 teams over 500, by the way. Best division in baseball. A 3-game difference between them as now the Cubs hold a 2.5-game lead over the Cardinals. Both teams have an interesting schedule remaining. About half their games against divisional foes. And 3 games set final weekend of the year always between the Cards and the Cubs. Could get interesting there. You know, what I've really kind of decided is there's not a great team in the National League. There's not an elite team in the National League like there is in the American League with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
There's just some good teams with some pieces, but nobody is overwhelmingly good.
There's an, in theory, Dodgers team out there.
It's somewhere
that exists,
floating about, yeah.
but it's not the
No.
team that we're watching.
No.
Yeah.
NL West, aforementioned, the D-backs hold a 1.5-game lead over the Rockies entering today, with the Dodgers looming only 3.5 back of the division lead. The D-backs have a brutal end to their schedule. 27 of their last 36 games are against teams over 500.
Woo!
That includes 7 games against the Rockies, 4 of which are in Colorado. Baseball getting very, very interesting. It may be the last you check on it. So I thought I would do the summary for you here today. Wild card in the National League, 8 teams within 7.5 games. All fighting for 2 playoff spots. So you have the Cardinals holding a half-game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers. Both teams have, again, favorable schedules remaining. It's the Phillies with possibly the easiest remaining schedule. They're a half-game back of a wild card spot. They have 23 of their final 37 games against teams below 500.
Okay.
St. Louis plays their last 6 divisional foes, 6 games against divisional foes with the Brewers and the Cubs. So could be interesting. Could be interesting.
Hooray, football season.
Yeah, I'm happy for football season. I mean, my Pirates are whatever they are, 8 games, 7 games back of the wild card. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. We can't hit all of a sudden. Damn it, man.
That's a hell of a thing, but at least you know. You know, if they gave you hope and then you got to
Well, they
split.
did give me hope. We made a trade for Archer at the deadline, and we were right there within 3.5 games.
Well, I mean, it's now the middle of August, and you know. I'm saying if they gave you hope to drag out through September where you've got to, divert different amounts of energies to baseball and football. And
I
all
like
that stuff.
doing that, Tom. You could have given up 20 games into the season. I had vested interest all the way to 120 games in.
Well, I did. I told you preseason. I was like, I don't know, 75 wins?
All right, there you go. There's your baseball update. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
like a power outage or blocked road.
Plus, when we go to talgov.com, we can get more information on other great City of Tallahassee utilities, like the Energy Star rebates and insulation grants. Wow, the E really should stand for easy.
Yep, E Plus from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. It helps customers save energy, water, and money.
You know what? It's time you level up your lemon lime with clear, refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. We get it. You're used to a certain kind of lemon lime experience. But why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Take this last second shot? Or make the last second shot? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, last second shot, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Roofing is rewarding, but it's not exactly a bed of roses. It's a very dirty job, subject to the environment, working on 98-degree summer days, dodging rainstorms, working on steep slopes like a mountain goat. At Parker Brothers, our skilled workers have chosen this challenging trade as their career choice. These are the people that you want working on your roof. We've been servicing the community since 1995. Call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
CGC 042221, CCC 049350.
Bags to catch, touchdown FSU!
The 2018 Seminoles football home opener versus Virginia Tech is approaching fast. Single game tickets are on sale now. Be there to witness the fastest offense we have seen in Garnet and Gold. And fittingly, be present to see Peter Warwick join FSU royalty as his jersey gets retired against the familiar foe. Tickets start at $65, and you can pick your exact seat on Seminoles.com. Get yours today. Do something and be there September 3rd in Doak Campbell Stadium.
Touchdown FSU! Touchdown Florida State!
Don't start your day off with the same old boring breakfast. Stop by the Bagel Market and Bistro on Thomasville Road and the Persimmon Hills Shopping Plaza. They have fresh baked bagels and cream cheese every Monday for only $1.50. Green smoothies and great salads like the spinach apple salad. Muffins and cinnamon rolls are also options for breakfast. Sandwiches, salads, and more for lunch and dinner. Open 7 days a week. Check them out online at thebagelmarketandbistro.com or on Facebook and give them a call at 765-0598.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio, reminding you the 7th annual Jeff Cameron Show Libations Friday Fest Sunday edition. It's happening Sunday, September the 2nd from 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. That's 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Good stuff, folks. We've got your first beer. It's on Fan Retreat if you're 21 or over. All you do is head to fanretreat.com, sign up for the free account, and join, quote-unquote, our event, which you can find on the homepage under Popular Retreats. You'll see a little star there. It's very simple. I did it. It took a millisecond. We've got T-shirts from our friends at Full Press Apparel, as we do every year. They do a great job, and they'll do a great job again this year. And so, you get that when you get there. You get the shirt. Koozies, courtesy of B&B Sporting Goods. Thank you, B&B. Also, the Crown Royal promo team will be there sampling Crown Apple, Crown Vanilla, and Crown Royal.
Sampling indeed.
If you're 21 or over. Weird stipulation there. However, you have to be 21 or over, except if you're 13. If you're 13 on the nose, you can do a free shot.
No.
That's not true?
No, it's not, unfortunately.
It's erroneous. One ticket to end the night there with the prize raffle. And the prize raffle will include Garnet and Gold 2018 Nike FSU Coaches Polo, Garnet and Gold 2018 Authentic FSU Football Jersey. I've got the Coaches Polo this year. I like it. Sometimes they screw it up. I don't know if I got the official one. I got the one with the state of Florida on it, which is the best.
I don't know that that's the official Coaches Polo.
That should be the Coaches Polo.
That's
a great polo.
It's a good logo.
Yeah, it is a great logo. Killearn Country Club, round of golf for 4, 2 of those. Tom and I play out at Killearn all the time. I'm a member there, and the course is in great shape right now. It is in great shape.
They got themselves a keeper in terms of...
The groundskeeper?
The groundskeeper.
He's doing some things,
Oh,
man.
yes.
Yeah. Bumpa's Local 349. Hello, Bumpa's. Good stuff. 4 $25 gift cards from our friends at Bumpa's. All right, football season, got to put Bumpa's to use.
That's right.
We got to get over there with all those TVs and then the open air when the weather gets nice like that.
That sounds like a pretty good Thursday.
It does. Butch Bundy, my man, he's a PGA professional and a good one at that. 30-minute private lesson. That would normally cost you $4,000. It's crazy. You get one free 30-minute, $4,000 value. WarChant.com, a 1-year subscription. Cigar City and Oscar Blues craft beer giveaways by the 6-pack Frequency XP. Good job, Bill. Bill Frederick's doing it up. Fitness assessment and 4 free guided workout package. That, too, is a $4,000 value. So unbelievable the money you're saving here with these packages. Games for Less gift cards, that would be for less, not Metro Deli, 2 $25 gift cards. The Deck Pizza Pub, which is not open yet.
Correct.
Will be soon. You guys may remember it as, what did they used to be?
Well, they were the old
like
downtown.
6 different things, right?
But the old downtown Po' Boys was
the
longest. Yeah.
That was wrong with me.
Johnny Mac's going to be slinging drinks on the deck out there.
And if you know Johnny Mac, you love Johnny Mac.
Yes, you do.
And he will be there. The Deck Pizza Pub. we perhaps will be there frequently, receiving drinks from Johnny Mac. Could happen. And then, of course, the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, going to give you 100 wing, 2 pitchers of beer, wing feast times 2 of them. You're good to go. All that concludes at 7:30. Then we're going to throw up on the screen a little LSU Miami. Somebody took issue with me saying yesterday that I would be polling for, I didn't say rooting, polling for Miami. When I say that, guys, it never happens. I never actually do it. I sit down perhaps with the best intentions, if you will, or the worst, depending on how you look at it, to pull for Miami or somehow hope that they win the game. I don't know how else to phrase it, but it doesn't sound overly positive.
I could bring a specific example to mind.
Benefits us most.
Right, and this was the Wake Forest game in 2013, the week before.
Yeah, wanted to be undefeated so they could come up here with a high ranking and take an ass kicking.
I feel like that was the day that Bobby Bowden was at the center of the field, and I think we were looking at the scores right there on Bobby Bowden Field itself.
Yeah, I was down on that field.
But we wanted game day. There may be some extra promotional value that comes our way when we get game day.
Oh, we make a lot of money.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Promotional value.
Yeah.
And then obviously it was the 8 o'clock kickoff, and you wanted a top 10 matchup, so there was a heightened national attention for when we kick the crap out of Miami, which is always good.
It happens so frequently, too.
Right.
It's just an abundance. We got to take it for granted.
And that game was sloppy, other than Jimbo's screen call to Freeman.
We went like 42-10 or 14 or something like that and didn't even really play well at all.
No,
41, wasn't it?
41-14, and it wasn't, it was whatever.
Just imagine how vastly superior we were to play as poorly as we did and to win a game 41-14. Like, not even remotely competitive.
I think it was both Matias and Jackson on that screen call from Jimbo around the 50-yard line, and those two guys were just trucking it downfield.
Yeah, good stuff. At Jay Cameron Show, @_Tom Lang. So what's the over-under that our former AD Stan Wilcox has to lead and head up the Texas A&M investigation as the new NCAA executive director? Oh, Jimmy, we can only hope, right? We can only hope. Stan, welcome aboard. We have your first assignment. How quickly would that phone call be made? Jimbo, I'll be in town next week. Love to sit down and chat, perhaps over lunch. At Jay Cameron Show, heat advisory. Someone's going to die if they go to Wild Adventures in August. The worst heat I've ever experienced was there. Bear in mind, for many years, I used to run at 2 p.m. in this city. Put that giveaway back in the drawer until October, says Mario. Mario, you have to understand, though, and here's the thing, TPE. Your NASCAR people are impervious to heat.
That's correct.
It does not bother them.
I'm sure there are cool zones and a lazy river, sir, so they'll be okay.
No, I just don't think that the people that love NASCAR are concerned about the heat. They yick it up with the best of them no matter the temperature.
Well,
it's like part and parcel of the whole thing.
That's like going to a noon kick here in September, man. I mean, those bleachers, they don't help matters.
Cruel and unusual.
Oh, those bleachers, man.
I remember one time I was sitting at a game at Hauser. I wouldn't do this now as a responsible man, aware that there are sometimes children and sensitive adults around me. But it was so hot and I was so uncomfortable and distraught. This is mid-90s. Young and not in the media yet. I yelled out an expletive just in the middle of an inning. Just thought, that's it. I just snapped. I can't do it. I'm leaving. This is blankety-ridiculous. And I just got up and left.
He'll do that, people.
I did. I said, this is I had lost it. I was done with it. That's the kind of frustration I felt with it. And sometimes you're right. That same sort of frustration, sadness, sort of feeling of a loss of hope, it creep over you when you sit in that sun in an early season game trying to watch our beloved Knowles, and it's, 94 and humid.
You may all out there not be golfers, but if you're doing something that's fun with recreation, be it fishing, you're outdoors, you're at the beach, whatever, it's hard to have a negative experience golfing, but I will tell you there are some negative 1 or 2 second experiences while you golf, and one of those will be if you're sitting next to this guy across from the glass from me, when we're in a tournament and it's the dead of summer and you have to wait on the tee box and it's really hot out. Because the waiting on the tee box means that the complaints about the temperature are forthcoming while we're waiting on the tee box, and then there's a double down with the fact that the group on the fairway
It's
is
slow.
not clearing the fairway.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more perturbed, I think, perhaps, at the rate of speed with which the people in front of us are going about their round. That usually is the agitator. Now, you couple it with 98-degree heat,
right?
And you've got a potential for explosiveness. I'm just agreed.
It's a daily double, and it's colorful.
I think I have found a way to enter a more zen-like place on the golf course. I don't complain as much as I used to.
That's correct. We have not been in a scramble situation in some time, though, and that's going to be a great test. I look forward to seeing the mental fortitude in the moments where we're on a par 5 and there's this guy who's a 30 handicap thinking he can hit the green from 260 out.
What are we doing? I have every reason to be angry about that. Sir.
What? It's driver off the deck. I might do it.
Sir, you're not going to get that there.
I can hit it that far.
You know it. Lay up and let's ride.
Your career-long drive, sir. Your lifelong long drive is 240.
And it was 15 years ago when you were in your early 30s. You've got no shot.
This is off the deck with a driver, sir.
It's not going to happen. This is just wrong. And you are further agitated. I got to find a way for pre-shot routines to be a thing. Because that's what happens with people that are really good players. They go into that special place and they just repeatedly do their pre-shot routine as if this egregious delay in front of us is not.
That's what the beer cooler's for.
What if you got a good round going?
Well, that's true.
Problem is, if you got a good round going, you don't want to reach to the beer. You reach for the beer cooler if it's gone to hell in a handbasket. Then it's like, okay, well, that's what we're doing here today.
You work on the thing that you're doing worst in that moment. That's what you do.
Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
By going to ZipRecruiter.com/try. That's ZipRecruiter.com/try.
I'm Michael Blank, attorney with the law office of Jose Fernandez. If you've been in an accident, I know this can be a scary and confusing time. Our firm specializes in handling all types of accident and injury cases. Let us guide you through the process and get you the compensation you deserve. Call 855-HOSE-305 to make an appointment for your free consultation today. If you can't come to us, we can come to you, day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, the law office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid unless you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. Se habla español. JRFinjury.com.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
The vast majority of us push through aches and pains that tend to get worse as months and years go by, but it doesn't have to be this way. I'm Dr. Rob, and at HealthSource Chiropractic of Tallahassee, we use evidence-based, proven methods to get to the cause of your aches and pains before they become real problems that force you to miss out on important things in your life, like playing with your kids or grandkids, throwing a frisbee at the park, swinging a golf club, or simply enjoying the game on those hard benches at the ball field. Call HealthSource Chiropractic today at 877-8980.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Summer's winding down, but it's still hot, and so are the deals at Kraft Nissan. Actually, we might have the best rebates and incentives we've ever had. Nissan has 0% interest for 60 months on every vehicle we sell, the entire lineup. Kraft Nissan has new 2018 Versa sedans with 5-speed transmission.
Reduce crime, strengthen local business, and listen to everyone, not just City Hall insiders. I trust Jeremy Matlow. He's a proven business leader who won't waste our tax dollars. Jeremy has always done what's right for Tallahassee. I'm voting for Jeremy Matlow for City Commission.
Political advertisement paid for and approved by Jeremy Matlow, nonpartisan, for Tallahassee City Commission, C3.
Did you know that propane-powered clothes dryers outperform electric models in energy efficiency, drying time, and garment protection? So dry your clothes more efficiently with propane. Propane water heaters give you more hot water at a more affordable price. Compared to electric, energy-efficient propane water heaters can reduce your energy costs significantly. For more information, call AmeriGas Propane here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The Ohio State Board of Trustees continues a closed executive session reviewing the report from a 2-week investigation into the handling of domestic assault allegations against a former assistant football coach. Head coach Urban Meyer was put on administrative leave while the allegations against Zach Smith were reviewed. Kyle Murray is the new starting quarterback at Oklahoma, taking over for Baker Mayfield. Murray beats out Austin Kendall for the job. Murray was also the 9th pick in the baseball draft by the Oakland A's. He got a deal that includes a signing bonus of more than $4.5 million. Heading into their preseason game against the Giants on Friday night, the Jets still have 3 quarterbacks, Josh McCown, rookie Sam Darnold, and Teddy Bridgewater. ESPN's Field Yates.
The Jets continue to hang tight with Teddy Bridgewater. There could be another quarterback injury around the NFL that could tilt the scales of a team's outlook. That they may say to themselves, all right, we weren't prepared to trade for Teddy Bridgewater on August 22nd, but maybe it's September 2nd now. Maybe it's October 2nd now, and we need to make a move for Teddy Bridgewater.
Field Yates on Golick and Wingo. Sunday, 80-year-old Colts radio play-by-play man Bob Lamey announced his retirement. Today, Lamey's attorney released a statement saying that Lamey used a racial slur while talking with a friend last week. Lamey was the voice of the Colts for 31 years. After 37 years, the NCAA is getting rid of the RPI system for rating college basketball teams. RPI will be replaced by NET, the NCAA evaluation tool. It will take into account quality of wins and losses, strength of schedule, offensive and defensive efficiency, and other metrics.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hope you're well. Glad you're listening. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We are online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always miss anything. Fret not, my friends. We've got you covered all 3 hours. Going to be posted upon the conclusion of the program, both to iTunes and our own audio vault. You can always email us, jcs@979espnradio.com. On Twitter, it's @JCameron. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. And if you want to watch us on Periscope, again, go to Twitter, follow @979 ESPN Radio. You know, it's weird to me. This is the time where I begin to think about which teams I believe are going to win their respective conferences and who I think will be a surprise candidate and all that sort of stuff. Do you find it odd? And I get why. And there's an investment involved in all this. But, man, if you go to ESPN.com today, there's a front cover story on the NBA. When did this happen? What are we doing? I mean, man, I can be a fan of the league, and I'd say that's strange.
ESPN makes choices.
Strange ones.
They play favorites, and they play to whoever invests the most money with them. It's not a news site. It's a site that pumps whatever they're paid to pump.
Oh, no, I know. But, man, alive, that's a tough sell. Imagine that. Jerry, get in there and write that story about the Celtics. Jesus, man. It's August 22nd. What? How am I going to write that one?
I mean, look at the Urban Meyer situation. They love Urban Meyer in Bristol. It was so predictable. When that story first broke, every other major sports news website had that story up for at least 3 hours before ESPN posted it itself. It was crazy. They play favorites in that newsroom. There's no doubt about that because they'll tie somebody to a sexy headline with much less than Brett McMurphy brought to the table when he had Urban Meyer with the Courtney Smith situation.
I interviewed Dan Murphy, who's an ESPN writer who's covered the Ohio State story. You just referenced it. And the Ohio State's Board of Trustees on Wednesday started deliberating the findings of a 2-week investigation into those allegations that Urban Meyer and others mishandled the domestic assault accusation made against a former assistant coach, as you know, Zach Smith. The university, after that, of course, hired a special group, working group to direct the investigation. And this whole time, because they've been so quiet, and in particular to me, athletic director Gene Smith has been so quiet, Tom, and you and I have talked about this off the air. Every day that went by that we did not hear from the athletic director was an indicator to me that they were planning on giving him a slap on the wrist, that they were planning on giving him time served, if you will, for lack of a better term. He's been suspended for the last 2 weeks. The board chairman is Michael Gasser, and he's already thanked the lead investigator in this case, which is Mary Jo White, and others for, quote, thorough and professional work. And now we should be getting a response. That meeting began at 9 a.m. today. They left for an executive session less than 5 minutes later to discuss the results of the investigation behind closed doors. So before any further action is taken, they wanted to talk about what their findings were. Urban Meyer was seen entering the building. So that's the first he's been around the program or been around Ohio State or been around anybody involved in this investigation for some time. Now, he has been put on paid administrative leave, of course, and now we'll await a decision. We may get several major decisions on any number of issues, some nefarious and salacious in nature and others just intriguing, like who's going to start at the quarterback position for Florida State here in the next 2 days. We're getting conclusions drawn on a lot of things here within the next 48 hours, as it should be. Tidied up to some extent before that first football game is played on Saturday. This Saturday, I might say.
Yeah, this Saturday, beginning at 7 o'clock right here on these very airwaves.
Boom!
That's pretty awesome that we have a big college football slate. But back to the Ohio State thing, it's just incredible to me. And you're right. Gene Smith talking or not talking to the media is a big damn deal. And we were thinking a couple of weeks ago, and I know at least I was, he's going to come out and say something, and he's going to defend himself against Urban Meyer. But I mean something.
Gene Smith, that is.
Yes, Gene Smith. He's going to say something defending himself. And at that point, we'll know where the administration stands. But he has been absent from the conversation, and it just leads one to believe, with common sense, that he's going to be the fall guy here, that maybe Gene Smith takes a stiffer punishment than Urban Meyer does. If they can somehow, I don't want to say fuzzy the evidence because maybe there is evidence that Urban contacted Gene Smith, but it's about a chain of command thing here. Urban saying he did what his contract demanded of him, what NCAA bylaws or Title IX or whatever applies here. He contacted the higher-ups and told them of the issue. Okay, let's see if the proof is actually in the pudding.
Doesn't jive. Doesn't jive with what he did at Big Ten Media Days. If he did everything, ride the book, followed protocol, told his superiors, went through the chain of command to report what he had heard, the egregious nature of those crimes, and abhorrent the accusations. Why did he lie? Repeatedly, 9 times.
Well, and he had time to prepare for it, too. He said he got flustered.
Oh, he could have been flustered. He knew the questions were coming about a guy that was just been fired.
And that's where, sometimes a media member might ask a coach a question that sounds kind of stupid because they don't understand the game. But Brett was right. He said, so you mean to tell me it's 4th and 1 and the clock is ticking at the end of the game and you got to get a play call in now? You got to get one in now. And you're prepared to make that decision. But you have a day or two to prepare for the Big Ten Media Days. And you know you're going to get this question and you get flustered to the point of lying? Really? That's what it was.
So it's a 2-week investigation that one would think would certainly uncover what's at the crux of the case, which is what did he know? How long did he know about it? How frequently did he lie about behavior from his assistant coach, whom he didn't fire, Zach Smith, during his time on the staff until most recently, until that story emerged. Especially since Zach Smith, by the way, in his first public appearance and interview said that Meyer pulled him aside and said, if you hit her, struck her in any way, you're gone. That I am not, nope, that's it. Well, he knew he did it in 2009.
I got to wonder, too, what does Urban Meyer's wife have to do with any of the situation or ramifications of this investigation?
Shelley?
Shelley, if she knew, which is what, they're alleging here that Courtney was texting with Shelley about this particular thing.
She knew about the 2009 case for certain and advised Urban that they should seek counseling as a young couple. And then she obviously knew about it later on because she remained friends with Zach Smith's wife.
Well, and
ex-wife now.
Exactly. This is what that report was at least alleging, is that Urban knew because his wife knew, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they can prove that his wife Shelley knew, is she going to have to get fired or suspended or reprimanded by the university? Is she going to be a fall person? It's just fantastic to me to see this, and I don't mean that in a good way, that Ohio State would fire Jim Tressel years ago for what we thought was a serious offense, which
tattoos,
lying to the NCAA about tattoos.
And selling jerseys. Yeah.
Well, selling jerseys, books, whatever it was to make the money for the tattoos. And in this circumstance, you have Urban Meyer, who potentially, in this climate right now, is allowing and enabling somebody who is a domestic abuser. And he lied about it and what he knew and when he knew it. And you're going to stand behind Urban? Really?
Well, and I think the other part, because it's a real leap in logic to believe he didn't know, right? He can say he didn't, but that's crazy. And I would just, again, a lot of times it's not just that that you can reasonably surmise that he knew, but it's what you can prove, so he can hide behind semantics and continue to deflect. But in addition to the 2009 case and what occurred here most recently, there's the 2013 while Zach Smith's on-staff DUI, followed up by, which is my favorite part of this story, my man taking lewd photographs of his genitalia while on team trips and having an affair with a football staffer. So we're just piling on we go from 2009 to where we are most recently. My man, did he have to kill somebody for you to get rid of him? What was he going to have to do for you to decide maybe we should move on? And by the way, is Zach Smith that good a coach?
The one thing I will say, when that was brought to light, that is a character assassination ploy that you see the newspapers run because, political organizations or lobbying groups want something out there. That to me isn't as germane as
it's not
did
as
he
germane,
lay
but
his
it
hands on
speaks
his
to
wife and did
character.
Urban know?
Of course not. But what it does speak to is a pattern of very questionable decisions being made by an employee of the university on his coaching staff who's now in question for something much greater. It speaks to his poor judgment on the regular. And never mind the heinous accusation of repeated
I think that's
abuse.
Just that the eyes on the ball there. That other stuff, I can guess he's wacky. I watched the interview with Dan Murphy, Was he the one that did the video interview? Yeah, okay. I mean, that dude looks like he's got, 7 coffees running through his veins at any moment.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with 7 coffees running through your veins?
He's like, well, okay, how about this? He's like Tweak from South Park.
I know.
You don't act like Tweak from South Park. You need the 7 coffees to be normal.
No.
But he's like, no, I never did anything at all. Okay, well, something's a little wrong with this guy. And you've got 6 years apart, the same accusations. I mean, come on, man. As the Ohio State, because they want to use "the" all the time, you're going to fire Jim Tressel for that offense, and you're going to stand behind Urban for this offense? You can survive Urban Meyer not being your coach.
Oh, yeah.
They'll win. They're Ohio State.
Ohio
you
State.
don't need Urban Meyer.
Yeah. He is a really good football coach. I mean, he's got 6 losses. His time there, total.
Tressel's record was impeccable as well. You just go back and get Tressel. Bring the vest back.
Bring back the vest and say sorry. Let's move on here, Big River. Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting just for the fun of it here is, as a college football fan, who would they go with? Would it be Campbell from Iowa State, 38 years old, up and coming with ties to Ohio State? Would it be somebody else? I've wanted this to get as convoluted as possible. What I wanted was this to stretch to Tom Herman. And I want Texas to be affected, and I want any other assistant anywhere else to be affected. I think it would be great. That's just fun. Those are the fun conversations. Look at this. Oh, what a web we weave. Just to find all of these guys.
If you're the PR guy, though, right? Haven't you had that conversation with the university president and everybody involved? Are we willing to take the PR hit for letting this guy continue to be our head coach? That has to have been a conversation.
It's the big conversation. If you get beyond doing the right thing. So if the conversation starts and you care at all about human beings, including one that may or may not have been repeatedly abused by a staffer on Urban Meyer's coaching tree, if you care at all, that's where the conversation starts. Justice, doing the right thing by the person abused. Stepping forward and obviously representing the university in the best possible light and sending a message to the employees, the alumni, and the students as to the correct way to behave, act as an organization, as a university of higher learning. Presuming they don't care anything about all of that and rather it just goes to the wins and losses, then you can have that conversation. So you have to dismiss all of that other stuff first and say, well, we're not children. We're not that naive, guys. Get your holier-than-thou attitude out of here. Let's get to can we endure this PR hit in order to continue to employ Urban Meyer, who has won us a national championship and lost a mere 6 games?
Well, unless the facts point to something absolutely different than what common sense and at least enough circumstantial evidence suggests right now, right? Unless the facts show that Urban was actually right and we have to go, wow, how about that? The 1 in a million came through, that Urban actually didn't know or
that
did
you could
pass
present it as being even plausible. I don't think there's any way he didn't know, period. But if you can present it as it's a plausible deniability, then I suppose you could endure the snickers and the "you're a joke, we know damn well he knew, but okay, you're going to get off on a technicality because we can't prove it." And those things matter. I got you.
If you were being a human being about it, though, you'd say, all right, we got to fire him, but the question is with cause or without cause. So let's get the facts straight and see if we have to cut a deal with his lawyer or not.
That's the other aspect here is this could all just be a great discussion about freaking money.
That's what I thought Urban's statement was all about.
He was digging in his heels to get his money. There's $40 million at stake here. That was never going to be a peaceful resolution to this, as in, I'll walk away. I did the wrong thing. You caught me here. I stood by a guy I never should have because I had allegiances to his granddad or his uncle or whoever it was, Earl Bruce, and I decided that, you know what? I'll stick by this guy because it's what he would have wanted, and now I'm going to pay a dear price for that, and I deserve it. He was never going to do that.
Maybe it goes that way, and they do fire him, but I don't think it's leaked out to the press that it might be time served or a suspension if the university wasn't at least trying to float that out there to see, how's this going to float?
To get a feel?
Yeah, how's this going to fly?
I don't know that you can. I don't know, that's a lot different than there being, because any more people are hesitant to believe reports without a direct quote of somebody or a representative willing to put their name on it. So you would say, well, it's very easy to float anything into the ether anymore in today's era where it can be disseminated in milliseconds across the world. And rightfully, we should all hold off on that until there is proof that it was directly attributed to somebody. So anymore, I think people just go, I'm not going to fall for that. We'll wait and see what your actions are going to explain everything to me.
Well, sure, but to me, okay, so the report was the trustees were verbally, told about what was going on, and there would be a more, formal meeting like today's. But the sense was, after being verbally informed, that it would probably be either a suspension or a time served type deal for Urban. I don't think somebody would run to a media member to give them that nugget of information if the university wasn't leaning that way. It wouldn't make any sense. Why would you make that story happen and put that in the press, and then Ohio State comes out today and says, he's fired. With cause, without cause, doesn't matter. We don't stand for this. It just wouldn't make sense to float that out initially, unless it's a rogue trustee who that's what they want.
Which does exist. And you get these guys that are very powerful. They have influence. They contribute millions of dollars. They care deeply. They're held in high regard amongst other alumni, faculty, boosters who want to influence the outcome, and they do. They float an alternative story. It happens. It more and more these days than in yesteryear, but it does happen because the press is starved for an angle. You'll get an eager recipient. And so, especially if you know somebody, especially if you're willing to place that call, it's a damn shame. It can happen. I think it's fascinating. If he gets fired, and we may know today, we may know tomorrow. If he's fired, and it's a big if, I don't think he's going to be, but if he's fired, does ESPN hire him? Which shame if they do.
They couldn't.
Not right away. Next year.
Maybe next year.
Probably.
Or for the bowl games or something.
Likely, right? Likely, yeah. Wouldn't take that long. And then B, how soon till he's back coaching again? Would he be able to come back from this? I think so.
There would probably be, if he's fired, perhaps the NCAA jumps in at that point and says show cause for a year or two. I don't know that the NCAA would do it without Ohio State first taking action, but if there's precedent there, maybe there could be something attached to his name. But somebody was going to hire him. As if the evidence is kind of nebulous and Ohio State says, I don't want to deal with this, the hell with it, you're gone, man. Listen, I can't prove it. We're going to cut you a check, but we all know the drill here. Somebody could hire him. But if the evidence says Urban is straight line here, man, he knew exactly what he was doing, then I don't think you can touch the guy for a long time.
I wouldn't think it would take 2 weeks to find out that information. So to me, that can be one of two things. They're negotiating severance, or they're securing and bracing themselves for some form of a lawsuit once they make the decision.
Well, yeah, there are legal ramifications no matter what they do.
Big time. So I would think that they're getting their legal team involved to the extent that they're bracing themselves for once they make the – let's say early on they decide he's got to go. We've got this text that shows he knew all along. Because that wouldn't be hard to uncover. So they get that and they say, we got him. Now what do we do? Well, we're going to go for show cause, and we're going to tell him we're not paying him. Well, he's going to sue us.
Which is interesting because McMurphy did say that first day on SiriusXM that he had more information that directly ties Urban Meyer to this whole thing. I guess that was a load of crap.
Well, I don't know if that is or is not. I would assume he's not going to make something as profound as that up.
If you have that nugget of information and you share that with the university or the investigators, one would think at that point it's like the smoking gun that you're talking about.
Right.
You got him dead to rights.
But
he can't be there anymore.
But again, that's my point. They may already have him dead to rights. That may have already been shared, and it's just a matter now of preparing themselves moving forward as to how to cut the cord and what money is involved. And, but that concludes real soon. I'm just happy to know that here today there's a ton of scandal going on around college football involving several different programs and former players, and you have horrific events at Maryland, which, that is what a nightmarish situation that is. Obviously, that's the worst of the bunch because you have the loss of life. But you have that situation. You have the Ohio State situation, obviously. And we've continued to talk about scandal after scandal, and yet I just want to remind myself and everybody else, we're in a great situation with a guy right now that absolutely adores this university and is on the precipice of making his debut here in just a short amount of time.
See the story in Maryland? They're going to put a decal on their helmet. Is that in poor taste? Is that the right thing to do? I mean, that's brutal.
To acknowledge Jordan McNair?
You're acknowledging what are you acknowledging, though? You'd probably have to contact the family and talk to them about that.
I would think.
But, I mean, I don't know that that's the appropriate thing to do. Do you want to put his number associated with the university, like right after you are culpable for his death?
And moreover, you've admitted to being culpable. I give Maryland credit here. The Durkin stuff and all of that has gone on, we that discussion is separate from what the university did by coming out and holding out the press conference and saying we're responsible. We're responsible. At that point you're stroking a blank check.
Yeah, what they say, morally and legally.
Yeah,
they said on
morally
2 fronts.
and legally, we're responsible across the board. They didn't run from it. That's it. From what we can tell, we're responsible, and you know what that means. I mean, there's the ramifications for that. You can't bring back the young man, sadly, but I don't know what that's worth. $100 million, $200 million, $400 million. I mean, what are they going to get?
I feel uncomfortable about that situation with the decal, but I don't know if it's in poor taste or if it's the right thing to do.
Or if the parents thought it was okay. I don't know. It's tough to say. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Make sure your car is back to school ready. At Superlube, we pride ourselves on keeping your car maintained properly. And Superlube offers quick and convenient service, so you'll be back on your way in no time. So go to superlube.com for your back to school oil change coupons. Superlube, get your oil changed and a whole lot more. With 19 area locations, there's bound to be one near you.
How I love to Superlube my car, lube my car. How I love to Superlube my car, yes sir.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina. And presented by Hobbit American Grill and Mike's Marine Supply.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Are you tired of getting the same two-piece kits? Cornerstone Tool & Fastener in DeWalt have your answer. Buy a 1/4-inch 3-speed impact kit with 2 4-amp-hour batteries and receive a free 1/4-inch 3-speed impact kit. That's correct. You get 2 DeWalt 3-speed impact kits for the price of 1, only at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. While you're there, check out the power of freedom. FlexVolt 60-volt tools from chainsaws to string trimmers, blowers, and even compressors. Cornerstone has the largest DeWalt selection in Tallahassee. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon.
Life out here is better because of our animals. At Tractor Supply, we know your animals are more than pets and livestock. They're part of your family. So bring your animals to our Out Here with Animals event, August 22nd through the 26th. You'll find great prices on brands like 4Health, Natural Balance, Pedigree, Science Diet, Purina Feed, and more. This is one of the biggest animal events of the year. You and your animals don't want to miss it. So head on out to Tractor Supply with your entire family, animals and all.
Grainger stands for safety, and they know what safety stands for. S, safety. A, all about safety. F, feeling good about safety. E, extreme safety. T, talking about safety. Y, you guessed it, safety. First aid kits, eye wash stations, fire protection, you name it. For over 90 years, they've been helping to keep facilities safe and people safer. When it comes to safety, Grainger's got your BACK. Call or click Grainger.com to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Underrated aspect of the season starting here soon is the fact that Ed Oliver is going to play on offense as well as defense.
Really? That is awesome.
Something. All I can do is look big picture now. I'm anxious, but because we don't start again until the 3rd, you kind of like, until we announce a quarterback, I don't really know speculation-wise where else to go with this. Coach had another opportunity last night at the Tallahassee Quarterback Club, which does a good job with this, and their opener to talk to the folks there. And it's been a very similar theme, a very similar message. And it began with something that has resonated all throughout the summer, which is that I can feel the energy. He was telling the crowd there that he could feel the energy, he could feel the enthusiasm, he could feel the excitement. And, of course, this being his dream job, he feels that as well. And that never gets old hearing. It is certainly something people can get behind in a hurry, and it's something we've heard time and again. I believe it's absolutely true. And then, you couple it yesterday with our larger discussion about what the season entails and what we think is a reasonable expectation or what the offense is going to look like. And again, the more we talk about this and the more we get close, the more we draw closer to a resolution as to who the starting quarterback is going to be, the more I really do believe it's going to be DeAndre Francois, because we're going to run the hell out of the ball. And he's going to be a part of the run game, and I think we're going to run it 60 to 65% of the time, and he's going to probably carry it 10 to 15.
Yeah, to look at it a very simplistic way, if it's even between Francois and Blackman, right, who brings more to the table for the offense?
Well, it's interesting because I know your contention to some degree is when you're when you're split out as wide as we will be.
Yeah.
Say you're on the right hash and you're off to the left and you're split. Your receivers are damn near hugging the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't an easy throw to make. And the guy with the bigger arm.
Yeah, and he has the fastball. And then also, there looks to be a lot of shot plays down the field in this offense, too. And I think Blackman gets the ball distributed down the field better than DeAndre does. Outside the numbers, between the numbers, wherever, I think he throws a better ball down the field. He's got a stronger arm for it. And I think he's got pretty good touch for that throw, too. But, for the underneath stuff, there's a second element to it. I go back and forth. The footwork thing. How quickly can you get in position to distribute the football? Mm-hmm. And James he's an awkward player. That's the other thing, especially when he's running. I mean, you can maybe refine his form a little bit, but think about that scramble against NC State, first game he ever played last year. And some of the subsequent ones, you're like, man, this guy is all knees and elbows when he's running.
Well, the ball is always kind of in a precarious
loaf
spot.
of bread.
Too. Yeah,
right.
That's the area.
So there's a lot of work to do there. DeAndre needed help with his footwork at mesh points. That was a week and a half ago. I think that's something that you can clean up. It's as simple as changing your leading with your left versus your right foot. But there was no doubt that DeAndre could get the ball out of his hands quicker. But James just throws the ball harder, and he can get it out to those splits. Because, again, we were watching some of the film yesterday of Oregon's offense.
Yeah, we were.
And
that's pretty geeky and awesome.
Yeah, this video has been circulating for a few weeks now, and somebody put it in our Twitter feed. But it's these two guys, man, and they are Southern as can be, but they know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
Not that they wouldn't. Being Southern doesn't disqualify you from knowing ball.
If anything, it might actually...
You might know more ball.
Might know a little bit more about
because
ball.
You might know a little bit more about Georgia football and Florida football, Texas,
right.
all that stuff, all the influences. But these guys are breaking it down, and you can see the wide receivers in this offense are going to be miles away from the right tackle or the left tackle.
It's interesting to watch. And, man, are we testing you sideline to sideline. Yeah, you're taking shots downfield, but you're forcing a defense to cover every patch of grass against this offense, and it leaves the opportunity for guys that can find space to play and play a lot. So a Keyshawn, guys like that seem to have a knack for finding space are going to get into this offense. And then obviously if you do that, you have to have athletes. You got to be able to recruit because you're requiring your athletes to make something from a very simple place. So it's a 7-yard gain unless you can turn that into a 45-yard gain with your elusiveness, your athleticism, your speed, your strength. That's true of a lot of offenses, but especially this one because you have core plays that you're really dependent upon a person making somebody miss.
Well, and a lot of the plays they've run and the drills they've done in practice, it's almost like a second baseman or a shortstop trying to turn a double play. You know, for the quarterback specifically, it's get the ball in position, get everything underneath you, and get rid of the football. Mm-hmm. How quickly from the snap can you get rid of the football?
Yeah.
And there was no doubt in watching some snippets of the open practice a couple weeks ago. And I don't think it's going to change. You can just tell from this is who they are. DeAndre puts his body in a position, he has his feet underneath him quicker than James does. But James has the higher velocity out of his hand. So if James can shorten the delivery, he's actually going to get the ball out to where it needs to go sooner than DeAndre. But DeAndre is just so much more fluid about it than James Blackman is. So, I mean, that's one part of the equation. Then there's what does DeAndre give you with his legs that James doesn't, which is considerable. And then what is James able to do getting the ball down the field that DeAndre isn't?
Where do you stand? Because I think ideally you could do this. I know they won't do this, but I think it's an interesting conversation. The guy that doesn't, especially if Blackman doesn't win the job, redshirting him?
I think that's something that'll be easily solved on its own based upon scores of games, situations, because you have 4 games that you can use. And I mean, that's a lot. If you're talking about a backup quarterback being in a game,
it is a lot.
That's an awful lot of game action.
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, there's so many great things. I shouldn't say the one thing. There are a multitude of reasons why I like the new rule. You're not pressured to do that right away. So let's say he doesn't win the job. Let's just see how it goes. I mean, you got a backup now that's played a full season of college football. In the case, let's say Blackman's the second string quarterback, and you'd love to get away with redshirting him down the line, but you're not so sure because the competition was close. So Francois is the guy, but it wasn't that convincing. Well, if he struggles at all, you got a guy you can go to right off the bat. And, by the way, you can go to him a number of times and still not have burned his shirt if you wanted to do that late.
What are the implications from a strategy standpoint? We love to run the football. At least that's what we believe is going to happen. That's what Willie's track record says. So can you leave DeAndre out there for the balance of the game and just have him hand the ball off right between the tackles if we're up by 40? Probably. You could do that in a pro-style set too. But my only question would be, as you're trying to apply this week to week, let's say you get into October, and you're looking at it and you're saying, I really want to redshirt James Blackman, keep him around here another year in this program. You going to give Bailey the reps with the twos?
Well, that's the thing.
What are you going to do in practice? Because Bailey needs to be ready if that's going to be your plan.
Right, yeah. But if he was up to snuff, up to par, he had acquitted himself nicely and shown that he was capable, or you trusted that he was. Now, the thing he's lacking is, again, game experience. You don't know that until you put him in a game. But as far as executing the offense, if he was on par, if he was even with the other guys or something close to it, you could maybe do that. If there's no scenario by which you have to play him early, so the games Virginia Tech through Louisville or Miami play out in such a way that DeAndre, let's say he wins the job, is healthy and plays pretty well, now you're in a really interesting position because, again, the first time that you get, let's say you're on the road at NC State and DeAndre's just having a terrible day, just doesn't have it. Feel free. You could go to Blackman right now. He can play out the full game. Doesn't make a damn bit of difference because at that point you only have 3 more games. Even if you played him the next 3, it wouldn't matter.
I think what you probably do in that situation is, let's just say that DeAndre's named the quarterback and it's James that's number 2. You let him take reps with the 2s all season long, and once you get to 2 or 3 strikes, and depending upon your team record at that time, let the chips fall as they may. I may never need him. I may need him next week.
You can take comfort in knowing that in terms of experienced depth, to some degree quality depth, Florida State is in an incredible position, a better position than anybody else, I would think, in the ACC. But in terms of high-end quality, that's still yet to be seen. I haven't seen either DeAndre Francois or James Blackman prove to me that they're where they need to be to meet my expectations of what a Florida State quarterback ought to be, given the ability to recruit to a place like this. So, to me, they're not the standard. They're not to where they need to be. They've each only played 1 full season. Let's find out if they can get there. As of now, I'd say no, but I like the scenario by which we have this much experience depth.
If it's even, do you go with Francois?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. As much as I say that there are things that James can do that helps this offense that DeAndre doesn't do as well, I think the drop-off, the difference between
the runner
is greater than the difference between the thrower, between the two players.
The thing is about the runner aspect, DeAndre's a better natural runner, obviously. He's more fluid. He seems to be very comfortable running the football. At times looks like a very good runner. But you don't run the quarterback in this offense unless you have a guy like you did at USF, where you can really exploit a defense with dynamic skill from the position of quarterback as a runner. You don't need him to be dynamic. You don't need him to be a great runner. You're not trying to pick up 25 yards with your quarterback. You're running him to keep a defense honest and to open up the other aspects of what you do. So James is adequate. Really, anybody with a pulse is adequate at doing that. You just have to show you're a threat to do it.
Agreed, but it's a nice luxury to have.
Well, it's an added bonus, sure.
For 2 reasons. If you do it with DeAndre, you've got James, that's your backup and ready to go, right? It's almost, I don't want to say expendable, but certainly it's not having a backup. Now you have a true backup. But if memory serves, I mean, DeAndre's a natural at this. He's a natural runner. He can avoid contact. You know, it was the pocket shots that were killing him. But in terms of being in the open field, if he got past the line of scrimmage,
he got down. He figured out. Yeah, he knew. Yeah,
he knew his angles. I mean, it wasn't all Ole Miss's defense being terrible. I mean, some of that was that DeAndre knew exactly what to do when he was out in the open field about how to minimize the impact on his body.
As we sit here today, certain sites, if you're inclined to look at these sorts of things, Florida State, if you're wondering, favored by 7 points as of right now, a full touchdown over Virginia Tech. Take that, compare it and contrast it to what we thought back in, May. What was going to be the difference? What would be the spread? Because remember, the summer played out in a most alarming manner if you're a Virginia Tech fan, but it wasn't always that way, right? There was the thought that, man, Justin Fuente, 9-win seasons each of his first 2 years, ACC Coach of the Year, has the program moving in the right direction, has won a couple of recruiting battles. This is going to be one hellified test, even though it is at home. Then we were going through the coaching transition. You've got to implement a new offense and a new defense. Man, hell of a way to have to start against Bud Foster's defense. But then what occurred is, something that leads to a 7-point spread for Florida State. And I think I'd give it. It's weighty.
7.5, I'd think twice. But right now, I'd say go for it. Yeah.
Well, you're over here saying yesterday you thought, 31 whatever?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll get you know what? I want to talk about that total, too, because I saw that came out, too. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
96. Don't forget, use the promo code 979ESPN.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. Those 60 cents have been freeloading a ride in me for weeks now. I really don't want to be seen like this. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. It's beneath me. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand, all snug and secure where it won't tip over or roll under your seat or get hot in the sun. So find a store already. Grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. That's what pockets are for. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left!
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, and it's Truck Month at Kraft Nissan. 2018 Frontier King Cab S models with automatic transmission start at only $20,495. Compare that to the Toyota Tacoma King Cab SR model with automatic transmission. At invoice minus rebates, Tacoma starts at $24,646. That's $4,151 more than our Frontier. Or the full-size Titan and Titan XD starting at only $20,995 for a 2018 Titan Single Cab S model. And even better, just $26,995 for a 2018 Titan Crew Cab S model. And it's only at Kraft Nissan. Plus, the Nissan Titan has America's best truck warranty of 5 years or 100,000 miles, bumper to bumper. So please, before you buy a Dodge, Chevy, Ford, or Toyota, check out the Nissan Frontier and Titan trucks. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Prices include dealer preparation charge and Nissan Conquest or Loyalty Truck Cash.
I'm tired of reading headlines about corruption and crime in Tallahassee. When I saw Jeremy Matlow wanted to step up to serve our community, I knew he would fight to reduce crime, strengthen local business, and listen to everyone, not just City Hall insiders. I trust Jeremy Matlow. He's a proven business leader who won't waste our tax dollars. Jeremy has always done what's right for Tallahassee. I'm voting for Jeremy Matlow for City Commission.
Political advertisement paid for and approved by Jeremy Matlow, nonpartisan, for Tallahassee City Commission, C3.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Son of a biscuit.
What was that?
Something broke my windshield. Look at it. Now I've got to call my insurance.
No. Just contact Seminole Auto Glass. They'll take care of everything for you.
This is Sarah with Seminole Auto Glass. With Florida Full Coverage Insurance, windshield replacement is free, and it's your choice. So choose the local company you know and trust. Seminole Auto Glass, 850-539-4527 or at SeminoleAutoGlass.com. Wow, they're coming to my work tomorrow. That was easy, thanks to Seminole Glass.
Great. Now can we go get some biscuits? I'm hungry.
I'm Jim Cook, brewer of Sam Adams, here to tell you about Sam 76, a revolutionary beer, a fusion of ale and lager fermentation. Sam 76 gives you the taste and hoppy character of an IPA with the clean, crisp finish of a lager. When you put a craft ale and lager together, you get a sound you've never heard before. Crushable craft beer. Sam 76, in a can because only a dumbass would try to crush a bottle. Boston Beer Company, Boston, Mass. Savor the flavor responsibly.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Jimmy Sexton is a really good agent, man. Really good agent. 10 years, $75 million is Jimbo Fisher's contract. You already knew that. It's fully guaranteed. But he's also set up that contract, did Jimmy Sexton, to read that if he's fired, Jimbo that is, without cause at any point, all of the buyout money comes from Texas A&M. In a departure from any college coaching contract, Fisher would not be required to seek new employment, and if he did, the income would have no impact on what Texas A&M would owe him. Short of with cause, he's getting all $75 million of that deal, and could go coach somewhere else if he wanted.
It's a fantastic deal for him. Jimmy Sexton does work. We know this.
Yeah, if he terminates it without cause, he will have no financial obligation to the university as well. If he decides, I mean, sweet Jesus, man.
So if Bama opens and he's doing well enough at A&M that he can go to Bama.
Yeah.
That probably won't happen. But
no, it's not going to happen because it's going to be hard to get the Bama job when you're finishing fourth every year in the West to begin with. But, I mean, what? Honestly, no vitriol here, no anger, residual or otherwise. Just straight up assessing the chances at A&M. He's already recruited really well, and this is the first year. We now know how. But I would just say, again, what's the likelihood that he's going to win the West for as long as Saban is there? He's not. He's not going to win it.
I'd say best case scenario, if I was trying to be a realist, 1 out of the next 5 years.
One time.
Yeah.
Maybe, where everything falls into place. I mean, one time.
Auburn did last year, so it's possible, yes.
Yep. And you saw what good it did him.
Sure did.
But, I mean, I'm just saying, I can't think of a way where that occurs. It's not going to.
Probably not. The interesting thing about his recruiting class this upcoming cycle is it's mostly full. It's a good class so far.
Really good, yeah.
You know, if he gets to 27 or 28, then it can be, somewhere still in the top 5. But it looks like he's done, as he did in the early days here at Florida State, 90%, 95% of his work already. Whereas there's a lot of teams that are in that top 10 that still only have, like us, for example, in the teens of commitments that can surge up the ranks. But there's no doubt that early on in the recruiting process, he's doing the exact same thing he used to do, which is get commitments early and have those kids, stick to it.
I don't know the answer to this, but the other aspect of that story that we talked about at the start of the show regarding, obviously, Jimbo Fisher and the Texas A&M program and the accusations being made here was I wonder if this would hurt him in recruiting. I wonder if a kid coming out and saying that it's like hell here, that the atmosphere is militaristic and not at all what I experienced in my first year here, and that it's toxic, if these code words would in some way hurt future recruiting, gains, or not? Or would it just be, deflected by coaches who know how to do that, because negative recruiting is a thing that goes on rather persistently?
What's interesting is I think it's 2 weeks too early for it to have a real impact. This is still going to be something that gets lost in the shuffle of the preseason. I don't know if Wolken had to get rid of it right now, or if he thought this would be the perfect time given the Maryland situation. That guy sometimes can be a little shaky on motive.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a got you thing. They uncovered this. He spoke with the paper, gave the interview, and then you have, it's pertinent now.
Yeah, because the kid's trying to get to play this year.
Yeah, he wants to play now at Arizona, and so you can't hold it and then wait till the first week of the season and go, hey.
It's an easy answer for the coaches, though, to a prospective recruit, which is he wasn't tough enough, man. And people who aren't tough enough look for excuses.
Well,
those were his excuses.
And by the way, I don't want to disparage the kid, besmirch the kid. It sounds like I'm about to, because I just said that as a preface to what I'm about to say. But that does happen. That does happen. There are guys that don't handle tough coaching well, and Jimbo believes in tough coaching. There's no getting around that. I would note that his success in recruiting was by and large due to the fact that he told kids that. This is how I coach. I'm going to make you better. If you're committed, you'll go to the league. Look at the guys that I've put to the league. If you're good enough, you'll get every opportunity, and I'll make you better. But I'm going to push you, and I'm not going to lie to you about that. It's not easy. It's not a bed of roses. And kids accepted that. Lots of the kids that came through this program, including our current running back in Cam Akers, accepted that because they wanted to be coached hard.
Yeah, no, 100% they did. To me, all this is about is the sloppiness. That's the number one concern here. I think it's hilarious, but it's about, why is Elko out at a voluntary workout shouting down kids? That couldn't be a GA. Does it have to be Elko? And why does another member of the staff have to be in a bathroom at your
handing out money
at your version of the Tennessee Strip? You know what I mean?
It's lazy. It is overt. It is really, really silly. Of course, it's sloppy. It's just plain sloppy. And almost for that alone, I hope they endure some sort of punishment. Not just because they broke a rule. We both think it's a rule that's broken fairly regularly, but it's because they were lazy and just obvious.
I have to say, though, I never really considered this one as a possibility. Sometimes we put on that maniacal hat. You wanted the underground bunker.
I wanted the underground bunker, yeah.
Where the coach texts the player and says, we're going to meet at 5 or 6 in the morning for an academic session, and it's just for film. I never thought of that. That's next level stuff, because, film is football academics. But,
sure.
Yeah, we have an academic session, mandatory, guys, 6 a.m., and that's what it says in the text, and then they show up. Okay, so we're looking at cover 3 with this little wrinkle here.
Yeah, we're straight doing it. So, by the way, all of those favorable agreements for Fisher, if you wonder how they compare, Jim Harbaugh, he would have been owed $35 million in a buyout for termination without cause, but he remains obligated to seek new employment. So if that were to happen. Clemson's Dabo Swinney, current contract began with a $40 million buyout. It states he would have no duty to mitigate by finding another job, and that Clemson would be entitled to no offset if he does. If he leaves to take another college head coaching job, he owes the school $6 million. Ohio State's Urban Meyer, $38 million as a buyout. If he leaves for another job, owes the school $2 million. All of these other guys, many of whom have done more than Fisher. And his is no such deal.
It speaks to the desperation.
Desperation, exactly what it speaks to. Just an overabundance of desperation, embarrassing amounts of desperation. Final hour forthcoming. Stay with.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Get with two 4-amp-hour batteries and receive a free 1/4-inch 3-speed impact kit. That's correct. You get two DeWalt 3-speed impact kits for the price of one, only at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. While you're there, check out the power of freedom. FlexVolt 60-volt tools from chainsaws to string trimmers, blowers, and even compressors. Cornerstone has the largest DeWalt selection in Tallahassee. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon.
You know what? It's time you level up your lemon lime with clear, refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. We get it. You're used to a certain kind of lemon lime experience. But why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Take this last-second shot, or make the last-second shot. Make this musical request, or this one. So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, last-second shot, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
Grainger stands for safety, and they know what safety stands for. S, safety. A, all about safety. F, feeling good about safety. E, extreme safety. T, talking about safety. Y, you guessed it, safety. First aid kits, eye wash stations, fire protection. You name it. For over 90 years, they've been helping to keep facilities safe and people safer. When it comes to safety, Grainger's got your BACK. Call or click Grainger.com to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know Tasty Pastry for the wonderful special occasion cakes and delicious pastries. But do you know that they have a great selection of casseroles for dinner? Favorites like shepherd's pie, chicken pot pie, chicken parmesan, beef stroganoff, and many more. They also have breakfast sandwiches, egg casseroles, and quiche in many flavors available for takeout. Located at 1355 Market Street. Tasty Pastry Bakery, a Tallahassee tradition since 1963.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The Ohio State Board of Trustees continues a closed executive session reviewing the report from a 2-week investigation into the handling of domestic assault allegations against a former assistant football coach. Head coach Urban Meyer was put on administrative leave while the allegations against Zach Smith were reviewed. Kyle Murray is the new starting quarterback at Oklahoma, taking over for Baker Mayfield. Murray beats out Austin Kendall for the job. Murray was also the 9th pick in the baseball draft by the Oakland A's. He got a deal that includes a signing bonus of more than $4.5 million. Heading into their preseason game against the Giants on Friday night, the Jets still have 3 quarterbacks, Josh McCown, rookie Sam Darnold, and Teddy Bridgewater. ESPN's Field Yates.
The Jets continue to hang tight with Teddy Bridgewater. There could be another quarterback injury around the NFL that could tilt the scales of a team's outlook. That they may say to themselves, all right, we weren't prepared to trade for Teddy Bridgewater on August 22nd, but maybe it's September 2nd now. Maybe it's October 2nd now, and we need to make a move for Teddy Bridgewater.
Field Yates on Golick and Wingo. Sunday, 80-year-old Colts radio play-by-play man Bob Lamey announced his retirement. Today, Lamey's attorney released a statement saying that Lamey used a racial slur while talking with a friend last week. Lamey was the voice of the Colts for 31 years. After 37 years, the NCAA is getting rid of the RPI system for rating college basketball teams. RPI will be replaced by NET, the NCAA evaluation tool. It will take into account quality of wins and losses, strength of schedule, offensive and defensive efficiency, and other metrics.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We are online, ESPN, Tallahassee.com. Thanks for listening. Hope you're well, enjoying your Ballsmick Wednesday. Think by the end of the hour we'll get some information? No? Don't think so? Nothing? I want conclusions. I want to move forward. I want to live in a world where Ohio State does the right thing and fires Urban Meyer. I also want to live in a world in which we're celebrating with you. That's right. We will be September the 2nd from 4 to 7:30. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, Appalachian Parkway. Yay! 7:30, well, Jeff Cameron Show Libations Friday Fest on a Sunday. Shirts are all set, Tom. We're good to go. Our friends, as always, have come through from Full Press Apparel. And koozies from B&B Sporting Goods.
Absolutely.
I love the koozies, by the way. Really like them.
Well, I'm glad you do, because they're going to be fantastic. Black and white this year. We're going with the minimalist.
I was going to say, have you looked at the koozies?
No, you know what? I haven't gotten the proof yet. I was supposed to get the proof today. So once I do, I'm sure it'll be great.
I hope so. I'm assuming so. I think they'll do great work, Tom.
Oh, they're good. They're super communicative at B&B Sporting Goods.
There it is. I'm not going to go through the litany of great sponsors to start the hour. Not going to do that. I just wanted to mention and continue to mention that's where we'll be.
Quite separately, we'll be at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
This Friday.
The
day before the start of college football season.
There you go.
The day before the start of college football season.
48 hours, you could be starting your happy hour, or maybe an hour or two into your happy hour with us.
Florida State favored by 7 over Virginia Tech. Got to wait on that one, but you don't have to wait on Hawaii and Colorado State. You can hear it right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. How about them apples?
The most promoted Hawaii game across any market of all time.
I'd like to be at that game. I bet it's beautiful there. Colorado State, that is. That's where the game's being played. And Wyoming is at New Mexico State. We don't have that game for you, but it is televised. We can watch it. And I shall watch the Cowboys. Touchdown Cowboys.
Touchdown Cowboys.
Like I said, I might even watch a little Northwestern Purdue action. The Pam Ward special.
Northwestern Purdue?
Northwestern Purdue. That's August 30th.
Oh.
That's 5 days later. You got to wait. You got to hold your horses, Tom, for the big Northwestern Purdue. You know what? I'm only half kidding. I'm actually excited about Northwestern Purdue. I am.
Why?
Well, for starters, those are two, from a year ago anyhow, overachieving programs. In particular, Northwestern, which has won 10 games, I think, twice in the last 5 years. Man, you don't be overlooking Northwestern. And then I like Braum at Purdue. They won 7 games last year. Here's a guy who's got an offense going there. They lose all their defense, but they're slinging it around the lot. They've made Purdue interesting, which is nearly impossible.
I was fully expecting to hear about Purdue being merely a 7.5-point dog or 3.5-point dog or something along those lines, and that was just straight about the two programs, so you're legit interested in that game.
Pat Fitzgerald, Jeff Braum, I like both. You don't? You got a problem with the two gentlemen that have guided these programs? Braum only in year 1 after last year. This will be year 2, obviously, and win 7 games, chuck it around the lot a little bit there?
Indifference.
Well, damn you. This Friday, pay me in honor of this matchup. I will wear my Purdue shirt.
Oh, there you go.
I also have a Wyoming hat. Maybe which is different game, obviously. I don't have anything Northwestern related.
You call that your Why-Do outfit.
By Friday, I'm just trying to gauge. I was going to put odds on when we were going to get an announcement about the quarterback position.
Well, I found it interesting. We knew that Coach Taggart was going to speak with the media tomorrow, but then there was a separate advisory that said he's speaking with the media tomorrow at 8:50. I may just be reading too much into that, but here's hoping that maybe it is tomorrow at 8:50 a.m.
I think, they want to do that. They're probably tired of being asked about it. Now, that won't force them to do it, but I think they want to do it because once you've declared who your starting quarterback is, you can now move forward, and obviously the reps begin, and you get them extra reps, and we want whoever's going to start this football game to get as many reps as possible before that date. So the sooner is always the better. Obviously, you can't just make it up out of thin air, so if nobody's emerged, then it's a problem. But I have a sense they probably have a pretty good idea already. Walt Bell seems to indicate just the other day that they have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, the players are starting to figure out who it is.
Yeah, that was the quote. And that immediately told me they kind of know.
They probably do, and Willie wasn't speaking to the media until tomorrow. At that time, 2 days from when Walt was speaking to the media. That's my hunch, is that tomorrow we'll know. Maybe we don't, but by showtime, either way, we'll be able to tell you what Willie did say. It's just, and thankfully for that reason, we have this new system, right? Because Jimbo would not speak to the media until 6 or 6:30 in some cases. So then we'd have to wait a whole day when the news was just right there. It was just there for
on the
us.
cusp, yeah.
It's not critical, though, because since you have the Monday game, Wednesday, I guess, so to speak, of game week, serves as the beginning of practices. But I'm sure they would like to get started on Virginia Tech with the ones being kind of
crack-a-lackin', buddy. Yeah. Now, we've got, again, you got question marks. I can tell you this, and we didn't discuss this about the scrimmage. Of course, I came back to town, and yesterday was my first day back. And some things that we decided that you could conclude based on Coach Fry's comments, Walt Bell's comments, the fact that the defense got torched by the offense in this scrimmage. But I noted that in reaching out to people, several folks didn't play. For example, Marvin Wilson didn't play on the defensive line. Dontavius Jackson didn't play. He's our best linebacker. Kando didn't play yet again. So at every level, you're looking at guys, Stanford Samuels didn't play. So you have a lot of guys not playing that would make an impact. There are starters. There are guys that you're counting on moving forward. So when they're not playing, it's hard to get a read exactly how much the offense dominated. But that being said, a lot of guys on offense didn't play. Cam Akers didn't play. Your best player on offense didn't play. I mean, that's a big deal.
Well, and Stanford is one of your best players on defense. But the good news out of camp today being that Harlan Barnett said they do expect Stanford to be available for the Virginia Tech game. That they want to go on the record and say that is great news. Because there's one thing about whispers, about he may be ready, he could be ready, and another thing when a coach actually goes on record and says they expect somebody to be good to go.
He is a very big deal. A very big deal. We're going to play small. And he's a bigger defensive back.
Yes, he is. He's a drape.
Right. So because we're going to have a lot, Jaden Woodby's going to play, right? We're going to play small. Our big linebackers are not emerging besides D-Jack. We're not getting it, at this point. It's frustrating. Emmett Rice, I don't know how healthy he is. That's been a question all along, but you need a big guy to trigger. If he's not going to trigger, you might as well play small and have a lot of speed out there. Adonis Thomas, no. The answer's out there right now. Josh Brown, still no. So no matter where you're going with this linebacking core, you're really coming back to about a guy. And, I guess at this point you'd be looking, my thought would be and to Kalen Brooks and guys like that. You're going to play small. Okay. Well, I'm going to need the guys in the secondary to be sure tacklers. I'm going to need them to have the ability to come up and make plays around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you can be small and still make great tackles and have an impact in the physicality of the game. See LaMarcus Joyner. And if you don't want that example because he's an outlier, Mike Harris was very good at that. Remember JUCO transfer Mike Harris?
I loved Mike Harris, man.
He had good form outside of Sammy Watkins making him look uncomfortable for one day.
Oh, my God. I forgot about that.
Or
was
that
Poor
Nuke
emasculation.
Hopkins?
No, it was
I think it was Sammy, but at any rate, the Clemson game.
Oh, my God. Don't bring that up. That poor man.
But he was technically sound. So, yeah, if you can tackle, that would be very, very helpful.
Oh, Tom, that poor man. He basically got treated like a hockey fight. He just pulled the jersey over his head, threw him out of the way, and ran.
It's one of those. That's a flat. Oh,
That's not really. That's just.
I mean,
that
even
dude
if it
just-
is,
he just got bitched.
can't let that happen to you.
No, sir. Get your hands up. We got to do better than this. Oh, yeah, we did. We both went. Ooh, this isn't good.
and we knew that Mike was good. So that's like, well, that's a receiver right there. That guy might do some things.
I think he's gonna be okay. No emasculation rivals that one more than, when we're talking about off the line, more than the poor Miami defensive back that gets absolutely brutalized away from the play by Kelvin Benjamin in the end zone.
Oh, sir, as you like to say.
Oh, it's just like, oh.
I had 5 words that I could not say, and so I went to sir because
I did.
That's a show word.
The first time I saw that, I went, sir. Oh, that is not what you allow to have happen to you.
World needs plenty of bartenders.
Oh, please. That is, woo, to this day. Aren't you glad football is back?
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, I mean, the Nick O'Leary hit too.
Against Clemson?
Against Clemson.
Yeah, that's a bad one. He just didn't get low. I don't know.
I mean,
he got lifted off the ground.
Yes. Remember, there was the slow motion video of the Clemson sidelines, and the guy's eyes are just, what in the hell is happening?
Lest we forget what Cam Akers did to that kid from Miami last year along the sidelines. I thought he shattered his entire spine, back, his knees, everything there was. I mean, that was just, get you some, sir.
It's not Greg Jones, but it had a lot of similarities to Greg Jones. Just saying.
Guy came up with a lot of bravado.
He left without much of anything.
No, he needed a cigar and a place in the woods. And there was just, please, I want to extricate myself from society at this point. I'm not.
Miami guys might have been, patting Cam on the head saying, all right, that's a hell of a hit.
Well, my goodness gracious, what you just did to this young man. So, as we talked about yesterday, there was follow-up on the rules stuff. I mean, I really do think the NFL is just going to absolutely squash this idea of trying to implement the rule this year. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they've learned, and the backlash has been so overwhelming from their players that it's just, the more I read another article today, I think it was NFL.com had one where it's just what are we doing?
Wait, what publication did?
I think it was NFL.com.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, that's the message. Sorry about that. We tried.
Honestly, it wouldn't hurt him at this point, given how low his approval ratings would be if he was a political figure. If Goodell just had a presser and said, my bad, we're trying to make the game safer. We're going to exhaust every measure possible to try to make the game safer. This didn't work. We will search for other means to make sure that players' safety is at the top of our list of priorities. And done. Then you look like a good guy for it.
It's not hard. It involves something very simple and straightforward, something the NFL gets wrong every time they try. It drives me nuts. It's just not that big a deal, and it strikes me as incredibly bizarre that there's not somebody in that room, all of which are either attorneys or another advanced degree next to their name, and we don't see this sort of thing. Now, I should mention something that I haven't mentioned yet. David Coburn will serve as the interim athletics director. Didn't touch on that earlier today. John Thrasher announced that Chief of Staff David Coburn will serve as interim athletics director at Florida State while the search is underway to replace Stan Wilcox. And that you figured something like this would happen at this point, and Coburn brought a wealth of, according to warchant.com, legislative and state budget experience to the university's administration when President Eric Barron hired him in 2012. 34-year veteran of the Florida legislative process, most recently staff director of the Florida Senate Committee on Ways and Means. Prior to coming to FSU, served as the chief of staff of the House of Representatives under 2 different speakers. A lot of experience.
Ways and Means, man. That means that paper cuts don't scare you because there's a lot of paperwork.
Well, and Coburn he has his bachelor's, he has his master's in urban and regional planning, and a Juris Doctorate from FSU's College of Law. He's all in with FSU.
A reputable law school.
There you go. And absolutely.
Dynamic.
Vastly superior to the University of Florida.
Sure is.
My goodness gracious. We're at that place. We get petty now. We get opportunities to be this way moving forward.
So what do you think? Do they hire somebody who's kind of like our guy at Virginia Tech? the media handler for Justin Fuente? You get a salesman out there? Is he pounding the pavement?
I think they go business like we're talking about. There's a lot of money that needs to be raised for a lot of projects to keep up with the Joneses, and I do think that's a route they could go. I think it was the Domino's guy that they hired at Michigan, literally. That is.
They hired the Domino's guy?
Yeah. He's got an actual title. He's not known as the Domino's guy.
Domino's.
Was he the CFO at Domino's? I mean, he was.
Domino's.
I mean, what a perfect opportunity to use that job.
Over and over and over again. But that has happened now. Universities have gone that route. And listen, we do have to build this freaking standalone, right?
We need some money for a lot of things. I mean, you want to have a new baseball stadium, Jeff.
One of that ages ago, man.
Maybe you could be the guy.
Well, I could cajole and coerce and convince my fellow Knowles that this is the route we should go, and
the 3 C's
for a nominal. It's not nominal. I can't say that.
Well, I mean, if we're talking really honestly about progress,
yes, absolutely,
compared to the cost of the IPF or the baseball stadium,
yeah.
Certainly it's a nominal fee.
Yeah, come on, guys. I cared about your university. We're lagging behind, desperately so, even to the likes of Wake. Elicit that response.
It's the opposite of a Cutcliffe handshake. That's the handshake you give.
Firm. Over a beer, and we'll continue our discussion about the successes in our future with your contribution.
Bill Brasky.
Thank you, Frank. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Hey, this is Wendell Parker of Parker Brothers Roofing. Most startup companies go out of business within their first 3 years. It takes years of experience for a roofing company to be exposed to and learn all the things that can go wrong. Don't gamble your valuable home to an inexperienced roofer. Parker Brothers has been in business in the community since 1995. Give us a call now at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
CGC 042221, CCC 049350. Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
Here, do you need headsets?
I don't need no stinking headsets.
Well, then go. Come on, man.
All right. Hi there, Tallahassee. You know me. This is Eddie. You know, I have other restaurants in this town, Gordo's, Banditos. Well, I opened up something new. It's called Bumpa's Local 349. You may ask, what is Bumpa's Local 349? It was named after my grandfather. Bumpa. It's what we called him. Best man I ever knew. And the Local 349 was his union. And I try to bring this local flavor, this local flair of Tallahassee. I want to bring it to you, locally owned and operated. Warm, good food.
Good Lord, man, we're getting all weepy up in here. It's a cool sports pub. It's got TVs everywhere. You got every package. You got a gazillion kinds of beers and delicious food and a deck. We don't need to weep up in here. Come on, Eddie.
And we have 16 local Florida taps. Great craft beer just for you. And the best bologna sandwich you'll ever eat. It's like you just won the lotto. As Bumpa said, no matter how you cut it, it's still bologna.
Bumpa's Local 349, 2738 Capitol Circle Northeast.
Wow, E Plus is great.
E Plus? Is that like A Plus?
It's better. The E stands for energy, but it should stand for easy.
Easy Plus?
Yep, easy ways to save energy, water, and money through the City of Tallahassee utilities. Easy ways to monitor our account, easy ways to pay our bill online, check our balance, compare usage history, and so much more.
And I see the City of Tallahassee Utilities has a smart bill, which sends our bill directly to our email inbox for easy payment online, too. What a time saver.
And when we download the City of Tallahassee's digital app, we can do everything on our phones, even report service issues like a power outage or blocked road.
Plus, when we go to talgov.com, we can get more information on other great City of Tallahassee utilities, like the Energy Star rebates and insulation grants. Wow, the E really should stand for easy.
Yep, E Plus from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. It helps customers save energy, water, and money.
Eat, sleep, fish. Mike's Marine Supply and Skeeter Boats want to get you out on the open water. They're your local Skeeter dealer, custom rigged with Yamaha outboards. Stocked with a full line of Skeeter boats from the Bass to the Saltwater Bay Series, Skeeter has been recognized for 18 consecutive years as the leader in customer satisfaction for fiberglass outboard boats. Check in at Mike's Marine Supply for the spring specials starting soon. Located at 1296 Coastal Highway, Panacea, Florida, call Mike's Marine at 984-5637. Online at mikesmarinetallahassee.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
Pretty fun read right here. Florida State, Notre Dame in South Bend. Road trip experience of the year. You want to go? GameDayExcursions.com. Go today. Sign up as Tom and I have already done, enjoying a game day in South Bend. Not Pinned. And you get an exclusive tailgate party stocked with beer, food, entertainment for everybody that signs up. Yay! They had a big one last year for the Georgia game. They're doing it again this year for Florida State, Notre Dame. GameDayExcursions.com. If you sign up, you get the special hotel block rate there for Noel fans to book at the W there at Lakeshore downtown. The rates, just $189 a night. Woo! Doing things. Be sure to use the promo code, though, by the way, JCS at checkout. You get $10 off your order. It's promo code JCS, GameDayExcursions.com. At Jay Cameron Show, at _Tom Lang. Do you guys think it's at all possible that Willie is taking in consideration how Frenchie might affect the locker room negatively if he doesn't win the starting job? I ask based on his past character and attitude. Question marks, I assume, is what you mean there, Auden? No, I don't think he takes that in consideration. If he thought that was a consideration, then I don't think that DeAndre Francois could win the job, because it would mean that he hadn't changed his attitudes towards the job, the responsibility, the leadership role, and the locker room. If you're worried that he's the kind of guy that couldn't handle losing a competition and then would in turn poison the locker room, then he need not be here. And I don't think that's I don't think you would move forward with the idea of having him here in an open competition if you thought that failing to win the job leads to a poisoning of the water. No, you would have to believe that this is a kid that gets it now, that understands the responsibilities of being a quarterback at FSU, to not only the university, the football program, and all that came before, but, obviously his teammates in the locker room. So, no, I don't think he's considering that. I think it's an honest competition. I can tell you from the times we've been out there and then all the other times that others have covered it for us, the reps have been equal. If he doesn't win the job, he didn't win the job. I mean, it's been a fair and honest competition. Either he wins on merit or he doesn't.
I agree completely. I don't think that it would even be a starter of a conversation for Willie if he thought DeAndre was going to be a negative influence in the locker room in any way. And for his efforts, DeAndre should be commended because he said all the right things up to this point. If I'm the backup, whatever's best for the team, I'll help the team. He's answering every question about what if you don't win, or how good is James playing, or what's your relationship like, the way that you would expect a professional to handle that situation, which is an improvement. He's willing to say that.
Yeah, and by the way, he was asked a while back about something along the lines, would he be disappointed if he didn't win the job or whatever it was, and he tried to give a PC answer. He tried to give an answer that
no is whatever's best for the team is what his answer was.
Nonsense. He would be devastated. He would be terribly disappointed, and he better be. I don't want my starting quarterback to be the kind of guy that's not disappointed about not starting. I'd be furious about it privately. I'd be furious about it internally. I'd have to take a second look in the mirror here and figure out what I'm going to do to remedy the situation in terms of competition, winning the job back. Yeah, that's all.
There are times that we get frustrated with players for not, speaking their mind. But in this case, given the context of what happened before this year in this camp, I think he's wise to answer that question that way. I hear you that he should behind the scenes not be happy about it, but man,
no, I don't
it's
think
clear the message is there. I'm not here to cause trouble, man. I'm here to play football and start and win.
Yeah, you can kowtow too much for my taste. I'm just saying maybe you're right, big picture PR, but I got no problem with a guy who's uber competitive reminding us that he's that kind of competitive and saying, no, I'd be disappointed if I didn't win the job. Doesn't mean I'm going to do something deleterious to the locker room and influence this program in a negative way. And listen, if you didn't feel like having a lengthy discussion with a reporter, then you just say what you said. But to me, you could say, well, we're all competitors out here. I desperately want to win the job. So if I don't, sure, I'll be disappointed. I mean, you don't compete to finish second. You compete to win. But if I don't, then I don't. Then I'll do whatever I have to do to try to, A, win the job back, or certainly be a good teammate and aid this team.
You'll never get that answer out of DeAndre. It's too long.
No, it is. You're right. And he didn't feel like talking about it. And I get it. I mean, the interaction with the press is something that maybe a lot of guys don't necessarily cherish. But that's brutally honest. There's no level of competition that I've ever been involved in at any position in any sport where the guy that lost the job was cool. I mean, there's a difference between being frustrated for having not won the job, and there's a difference between being disappointed and being a negative impact and influence on the team or the locker room. Those are two entirely different things.
Sure. I think for him, there's this overreaching message that Willie got to sink. And so he's trying to stay away from anything that could be construed.
Team. Talk about the team. Talk about nobody's bigger than the team. Talk about how you can help the team. Sure, I get it. Especially when you've been selfish and you're Snapchatting with a guy who'd been kicked off the team while you're in Orlando on senior day. Sure, that makes you an ass. And when you did that, that was, obviously perceived poorly, both by your teammates, fans, and everybody involved. Now, if you've learned for that, great. I expect that you have, because I don't think Willie would have moved forward with you in this way if you hadn't. So I'm going to accept that behind closed doors, he's had the right answers, and on the field, he's competed, and that's enough for me, man. I'm not going to get personal. It's not personal to me. Get out there and work, and if you win, you win.
For me, just the way he carried himself in limited trips out there and viewing periods, he's carrying himself like he's going to win the job. You know what I mean?
I think that's part of it, and you probably should. I think if you expect to win the job and you believe you're the right man for the job, you carry yourself as you're the guy.
I don't think there's any doubt in his body language from what I saw. And, you were there the first open practice. I was there the second open practice, and then there's been some, viewing periods. But everything I see with DeAndre, the way he's carrying himself, whether or not that means that he's actually ahead or not is a separate discussion. I'm just saying the way he's carrying himself in front of the cameras and on the practice field, It doesn't look like there's a worry in his
Well, it
body.
reminds me of Bailey Hockman saying he'd like to believe that he's at the forefront or the leader in the clubhouse or whatever he said. I can't remember the phrasing, but people thought, oh, well, gosh, that kid's awfully confident. Look, these guys are playing big-time college football, got recruited to Florida State University, one of the preeminent programs in all of the sport. You don't get here without belief in your abilities. You don't get here without supreme confidence in those abilities. You have to believe that you're going to win the job. If you're involved in a competition, you're going to be the best man for the job, and you have to fight like hell. And part of that is obviously engendering sort of not just a belief, but a way about you that others gravitate towards, a belief in yourself that resonates with others. And I think there's no doubt all of them, I would guess that James Blackman feels that way, and they should. They all should. Just like Cam Akers may be, by far and away, the most talented running back in this group. I guarantee you Laybourne thinks he is, meaning not Cam, but Laybourne himself. I guarantee you he thinks he's the guy, and that if he gets fewer carries than Cam Akers, that's not cool. Now, again, there's a big difference between internalizing that and then causing a problem outwardly and being a disruptive factor on the team. No, you got to accept what the coaches have decided based on if you believe it to be a fair competition. If not, then I suppose you leave. But the point would be, if you thought it was on the up and up and you came up just short and you're disappointed, it's okay to be disappointed. Fight like hell to make it a better situation for yourself.
Well, if I'm Willie, it's one of those, it's kind of like what Hugh Jackson did a couple of weeks ago with Antonio Callaway on Hard Knocks, if anybody's seen that. But obviously, Callaway was picked up, suspended license, and he had weed and guns in the car. And Hugh said, all right, I believe you right now, but if anything of any kind comes up, you're gone, man.
Yeah.
Like, I can't trust you. I think Willie would be wise to, if he's not already. That's how you handle the Francois situation. All right, you're telling me that you're doing all these things. I believe you.
Yeah.
But if we get to week 4, and Blackman's starting, and you're going to be a problem, well, you're gone, man.
You're gone.
I got no time. I can't wait around for you.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is a little overblown, all of it, really. I do believe that he was a problem a year ago and that he was dissatisfied, frustrated. Who wouldn't have been with the season and the injury and the coaching situation? I think he felt slightly betrayed, but he also betrayed his teammates. He was also guilty of behavior from a teammate that certainly wouldn't endear you to anybody, and it would cause distrust, and it would cause a divide in the locker room. And so I think that getting an opportunity to start fresh is great for a lot of people in this program right now, especially a lot of people who had become disillusioned with their experience at Florida State, because it wiped the slate clean and it gave them every opportunity to start anew and prove to coaches that hadn't laid eyes on that situation exactly who they are as a player or are not. And I think they were given a fair shake by just the look at the depth chart early on, or even what we've seen in these practices. When the coaches say, everybody starts fresh, got to earn your job back, that's been true from what we've seen. That's the guys all get the same amount of reps. Everybody is out there the same amount of times. And, obviously, if you're a 3-year starter somewhere, you're probably going to be able to show pretty much early on that you warrant that. And the coaches are able to move you atop the depth chart then and say, okay, well, yeah, he's the real deal. Just, But if you don't, then you get surpassed.
I think he's probably going to be named, the end of this week, early next week?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be him.
It's the nitty-gritty, man. We play on the 3rd. It's the 22nd.
Willie speaks to the media tomorrow at 8:50 in the morning.
Yep. And you want to be able to name a starter. Obviously, ideally, you'd like it to not be close. You want the competition to be heated, but you want somebody, as Walt Bell was saying the other day, to have separated themselves. One of the reasons you want that is, A, it makes your job easier, but B, it's obvious and abundantly clear to the players. And the players know the deal. Players know who can play and those who can't, and, who's being given kid gloves and who isn't.
Well, who's winning?
Yeah,
who's
winning the job. Players know it on a daily basis. They always have. At every level, you know who's good and who isn't, who should start and who shouldn't. Everybody does at every position, with few exceptions. I mean, I remember a few times in organized sports where I thought, well, those two guys can play third base equally as well. I wonder what they're going to do. But that's kind of rare for the most part, especially in a position like quarterback.
It's third base. Yeah, versus quarterback.
Right, yeah. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
You smell that?
I smell football.
No, dude, that's Mellow Mushroom.
Football season is in the air, and Mellow Mushroom is cooking up all their favorites to help you do tailgating right. Don't drag out that grill and cooler. Just load up your tailgate crew and leave the preparations to them. With daily food and drink specials, plus loads of TVs and cool AC, the closest place to the stadium is also the best spot in town. Come before the game to fill up on homemade pizza, subs, and calzones, or come after to celebrate another Seminole victory with a full bar, huge selection of domestic, import, and craft beers, and a restaurant full of passionate Seminole fans.
Did you know that nearly every American sports team has at least one chiropractor on staff? They know that taking care of the spine and extremities is directly related to performance, and that's what we do at my office every day. I'm Dr. Rob with HealthSource Chiropractic, and it's my passion to restore health and optimize the lives of my patient family members. We use evidence-based methods with high-tech, simple science techniques to provide measurable results in the shortest time possible so you can get back to doing what you love. Don't just take my word for it. Read any of our over 100 5-star reviews. Call HealthSource today, 877-8980.
I'm tired of reading headlines about corruption and crime in Tallahassee. When I saw Jeremy Matlow wanted to step up to serve our community, I knew he would fight to reduce crime, strengthen local business, and listen to everyone, not just City Hall insiders. I trust Jeremy Matlow. He's a proven business leader who won't waste our tax dollars. Jeremy has always done what's right for Tallahassee. I'm voting for Jeremy Matlow for City Commission.
Political advertisement paid for and approved by Jeremy Matlow, nonpartisan, for Tallahassee City Commission, Seat 3.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Life out here is better because of our animals. At Tractor Supply, we know your animals are more than pets and livestock. They're part of your family. So bring your animals to our Out Here with Animals event, August 22nd through the 26th. You'll find great prices on brands like 4Health, Natural Balance, Pedigree, Science Diet, Purina Feed, and more. This is one of the biggest animal events of the year. You and your animals don't want to miss it. So head on out to Tractor Supply with your entire family, animals and all.
Is your car's AC keeping you cool? With Tallahassee's summer season here to stay, stop in now to any auto and tire super service center and take advantage of their $69 AC recharge special. That's right. Visit any auto and tire super service center and recharge your car's AC for just $69, keeping you and your family cool all summer long. Visit any of their 5 auto and tire super service centers, locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history. August 22nd, 1965. Of all altercations in Major League Baseball, Juan Marichal and Johnny Roseboro might be the most famous. Roseboro almost hit opposing pitcher Marichal in the face. The two exchanged words, leading to Marichal swinging his bat at Roseboro, leaving a gash on his head. Marichal would receive a 9-game suspension and eternal infamy.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
As we say goodbye, I shall tell you to stay tuned, as we're wont to do. Front Row Knowles coming up next. Tom and Keith, they'll have Tim Linnefeld on. Per usual, that's a good thing. I don't know. You know, it's, I guess until there's another scrimmage, man, the day-to-day stuff, it's tough right now. We've reached that place where you're kind of like, oh.
Well,
okay.
I even heard Corey say it yesterday on Wake Up. Sorry, not Wake Up War Chant, but he might have said it there too. But he said it on Seminole Headlines in the afternoon. Once you got through media day, he's hit a wall, and I can understand that. I mean, when we were coming back yesterday, I thought, man, Walt Bell's going to be talking to the media on Tuesday. I don't know that media day actually means as much as it used to, because we get to talk to all these guys all week long,
which is a bonus,
which is awesome,
and we're all celebrating that fact. And you're not complaining, but it is. You're right. No longer the mandatory attendance at that.
Well, that was the must thing of the entire. I mean, you got the open practice that day back in Jimbo's time, but then you got all of the staff for 20 minutes, and you had to mad scramble and divide and conquer and get every piece of audio that you could. But media day is now for regional and national media outlets. You know, the beat itself, yeah, you may ask a question here or there for an update, but I mean, it's awesome. We get to talk to Walt Bell every week and Harlan Barnett every week. That's wonderful.
Well, and I do think if you talk to them that often, it will reveal a little something. If over time you go back and look at your notes or go back and look at those interviews, you can see the changes, the subtle shifts from week to week and their opinion about a group or a player or whatever it might be. But when you do get them as frequently as now get them, you can paint that story on a daily basis. So, yeah, it's not sort of we're going to feast today. We got nothing the rest of the time. We got to hibernate and hope like hell something happens along the way that's interesting before the game starts, because after this we got nothing.
Whereas last year, Jimbo would give you a description of things that just didn't happen at practice.
Yeah.
So now you're chasing ghosts.
Well, Jimbo's got his own problems currently.
This is true.
And not shockingly. It's so funny, because I will say this, and we've talked about this a lot today, off and on, but everybody points to $75 million, and they've talked about, that much money being guaranteed to Jimbo and all these other aspects. And I've always said it's not the money. It's what the money represents. And that works two ways, because he doesn't care about money. He really doesn't. I think, other than in the ways that it can be used to rightfully help his son and others who suffer from Fanconi anemia and their battle there and what they'll have to do from a standpoint of health. And I understand that. But he's a guy that's driven by the game, driven by expectations, driven by his own, expectations of himself and what he thinks he's capable of and all of that. So the $75 million represents to him the need to win a national championship and the need to produce and the need to, prove that what happened here wasn't a fluke, wasn't just Jameis Winston, whatever, right? And then in doing that, he's also a guy that was embittered by the time he left here, frustrated, broken to a large degree. I'm not surprised that the stressors that come with $75 million and the expectations would lead to a player, maybe many players at some point, suggesting that on the day-to-day basis at Texas A&M, things can be pretty miserable. Yeah, I would guess that that's probably true. The mandate has been handed down from on high. $75 million was not for you to screw around and finish fourth in the SEC West. It was to win and win now.
Well, and to me, like I said before, this is music to my ears if I'm an A&M fan. Listen, not the part about the NCAA could come calling and being in trouble, but the culture shift, yes, it's about time that people are held accountable. And I would think that, A&M fan who may not be cultish, but is just they want to win.
They desperately want to win. They're like, okay.
They're like, all right, so if you have to be a little bit over the edge in terms of militaristic style after we have a players coach and it didn't work at all, you're trying to change a culture. And you could bring in your own guys in the next year or two, and maybe you got a couple through this recruiting cycle, but you've got to be able to flip the sensibilities. I mean, look at the USA Today article and what it says. It was a country club atmosphere. Even the player himself admitted that it was a country club atmosphere under Kevin Sumlin. So I'm sure Jimbo saw that and was appalled.
Well, what I would tell you is that the most glaring problem with the accusation has nothing to do with the language being used, even quote-unquote tabbed abusive. It goes on everywhere. It pretty much, in one way or another, goes on everywhere, including by coaches that are absolutely beloved in our own history. It has to be said by a man that they believe has their best interest in mind, and therefore you can almost take anything as a motivational tool. B, the problem isn't that, but rather the money exchanging hands. That's a problem, and that can't happen and ought not happen, and is something that should become the NCAA would have to come down hard on. If that's proven to be true, where the desperation to win, the need, the pressures to be great now, not tomorrow, but now, is such that you're willing to come in year one and begin paying players, and no. That can't happen.
Well, it can't be found out. It would be my tact on it. I mean, we're all big boys here, and if you get $40 a day, right, in cash, but instead of $40, we're going to give them $90 a day in cash for when a recruit comes and visits. That happens everywhere. Come on,
I don't know if it does or doesn't. I think it certainly happens in more places than just Texas A&M. Sure,
I don't think it's that sloppy. Is my point. Like, all right, let's clean it up a little bit. That's pretty sloppy.
Rolling into the locker room with cash, exchanging hands from coach directly to player is just stupid.
$100 handshakes and coaches being involved in voluntary workouts. To me, there's much ado about nothing there, except for the fact that now the NCAA knows. So that's really annoying, and that's really inconvenient for me as an A&M fan, if that's the position I'm trying to, live in.
Yeah. Well, what I've thought for a while is that while involuntary or voluntary workouts, there's no such thing, and that changed a long time ago, especially when you're at a big-time program. But I do think that if you're going to bastardize that rule, not pay attention to it, and expect that your players be in attendance no matter what, or they don't play, you then can't take it a step further and have a 3.5-hour workout where it's a 2-hour workout at most. You can't just go ahead and let the players know in no uncertain terms they're expected to be there. Don't take it and then go from 5 to 9:30. Don't do that.
Well, and then put in a text, it's an academic meeting, and that's just very sloppy.
It's just sloppy and dumb, and
yeah. That would be. I'm mad about the fact that it's sloppy, but the intent, okay.
Yeah, if you're A&M,
I see you.
Yeah, no. It's like the players we've talked about in the league. We're not so naive in the NFL to not think that most of our guys are on steroids. But when they get caught doing really dumb things or they're brazen, you go, come on, man, I appreciate you want to win. I, too, would like to win, and it appears you're all in. We got to be a little bit more careful with the way we do things. That's kind of what you're saying here. Yeah, sure. When Starling Marte got popped last year before the start as the season started, I went, now, damn it, Starling, that's a tough 50-game suspension.
Right,
but
yes.
I thought, all right.
Right.
I see you working.
Now, if I take off the tinfoil Texas A&M had for a moment and set it down, and I'm just me, the person looking at this.
Well, then you're talking about a larger problem in college sports.
Yes, but for this instance, just for a moment, I do enjoy Schadenfreude, and I'm laughing my ass off.
Oh, me too. I love it. I love it because it puts undue pressure on him immediately, which the money already did. Now add to its scrutiny above and beyond what the boosters and others expect.
And you can tie it to Elko. That's his stud.
Yeah,
that's his stud D coordinator.
Stud.
That is stupid. You got to have a graduate assistant out there barking orders.
Again, this is what I'm saying. What are you doing, man? It's more than brazen. It's idiotic. You're begging to get caught.
Elko, get out there.
It doesn't make any sense. Man. All right, probables. Here we go. Fire it up.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe we beat the Braves. Maybe we don't. Trevor Williams will give it a go. He held the Cubs to 1 run over 7 innings, lost 1-0. The last time he pitched. That's what we do. We just don't score these days. Julio Teheran will go for the Braves. I can handle last night's ass-kicking, When you're losing 6-1, you're like, all right. 1-0.
I'm telling you, man, I've been there.
Oh,
We gave up 2 runs in a weekend series and lost the series 2-1. There's only one mathematical way.
Very, very angry. Phillies Nationals, Zach Eflin, Steven Strasburg. Nats give up on the season and promptly win going away. Cubs, Tigers, John Lester, Francisco Liriano, still in the league. Indians, Red Sox, Carlos Carrasco, Brian Johnson. No, not the Brian Johnson. Although I hear the Brian Johnson is scheduled to sing on the next record. They fixed his ears.
Really?
Well, as much as you can fix his ears. I don't think he can tour. That's fine. Royals, Rays, Jacob Junis, Ryan Stanek.
Are they bionic?
He needed time away from the stage.
Okay.
The ears begin to heal themselves. Goes in there and...
Is that true?
Yeah. It's like a muscle that it's, if you've got swelling in your body, stop using it for a while.
Is it an old wives' tale that when you hear a high-pitched noise in your ear, that's the last time that it's able to hear that noise?
No. That is an old... Yes, that's an old wives' tale. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yankees, Marlins, Lance Lynn, Trevor Richards. We got the Giants and the Mets, Casey Kelly, Noah Syndergaard. Padres, Rockies, Jacob Nix, John Gray. Angels, D-backs. Despagne, Clay Buchholz. Cards, Dodgers, Jack Flaherty, and Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler.
Trapper keeper.
That is so good. And that's a look at those. The showers out of them up. Man, summer's winding down.
Well, in about, let's see. The first September show is on the 4th because we had the pregame show on Monday the 3rd. I can use a different song for this. How about that?
September.
Yes, sir.
I know. I'm excited about it, buddy. I'm really excited about the fact that it's Wednesday and the first football game is on Saturday. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, man. I can't. That was the part of what Corey said that's ridiculous. No, I don't care. I won't watch them. I'm not watching these Saturday games. They're not any good. What the hell is wrong with you?
I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, you can listen, by the way, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. We'll have action for you right off the bat on a Saturday.
I think you and Ira both were in agreement that you're absolutely going to be watching that.
100%.
Yeah, even without the action. Now I know that you argued that.
Did you like that he immediately accused me of having action? He's like, well, you've got the action on the... I don't have college on the game, action on the game.
Well, I
don't have action on Hawaii and Colorado State.
In fairness to Ira, I think that's a safe assumption. But you just don't happen to want to play that game. That's fine. You may have an angle by then, I figure.
Maybe, but I haven't really looked too much into this. I mean, I've taken the over on Florida State, Virginia Tech.
The over?
Oh, okay. Well, that number came out early on in the low 50s. Oh, shoot the over all day long.
Okay.
I don't like our linebackers. We're a little thin up front. I don't like Virginia Tech's defense that's to start the year with all these newbies. Yes, over.
Okay.
Oh,
something
yeah.
to chew on there.
I could see us winning that game 37-24, 37-21, something like that. It's going to bother you a little bit. I see it. You're like, well, damn, man.
No, well, we all play the game. What do we think the final score is in our head?
Well, it's a little early.
A little 31-13, something like that.
Oh, you got an ass beating out the box.
It's a little under, though.
Oh, yeah. No. Well, you should take the under then. Go ahead.
I'm thinking about it.
I've triggered it, right? We've triggered it.
This is good.
This is good. Hey, you want to laugh at something as we sign off? And this isn't healthy, kids. Don't do this at home. One of the sites that I belong to or use.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a legal one. It's legal. But my bank doesn't think it is. And so I won some money and I couldn't get it. And they were like, no. And then I needed to put some money in and they wouldn't. No, they're like, no. So I've got to call them. I got to say, hey, look, it's on the up and up. Let me do what I do.
It's legal?
It is legal, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, you got to be very careful how you word it to the bank. You do. You do have to. Well, but it is legal. It is legal, but you have to be careful how you word it. Purchasing a transaction from another country.
I see.
But then that's legal. But you got it. You don't want to call and say, hey, I'm trying to put 50 on Hawaii over here. Let it go. You don't do that.
So you collect it?
Or
yes. You're trying to?
I'm trying. I'm attempting to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a little perturbed.
The bank said no.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I got to talk to young Matthew about it because apparently he knows people.
And he knows the right wording.
He knows the right wording, right? He knows how it gets done. He's saying he doesn't.
So that the legality is skirted.
So we're not skirting anything.
Okay.
Phrasing matters. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Again, Front Row Knowles up next. Stay tuned.